Good morning, good evening, and good night, everybody. Welcome to TJ Warren TV and the Arsenal reaction to another league victory. Arsenal 4, Palace 1. We are now 8 points clear of Manchester City, and I could not be more excited. This is my excited face, guys. This is as excited as I get. Look, that's it. That's as excited as I get right now. I want to get it over to our panelists to get their gunshot reactions, and then we'll come back to me. Jez, we're gonna start with you. Welcome to the show, my man. How you feeling?
Man, thanks for having me on, TJ. Always a pleasure. Awesome performance today. An absolute what we needed. Bounce back from the sad demise that we had on Thursday night. And I did say in the chat on Lee's, why couldn't we have played like that on Thursday night? Well, we had actually had a midfield that performed today. I think the whole team was quality. I think Rob Holding was class today. I know he gets a lot of hassle. People don't like him. He was class. I mean, I don't think he put a foot wrong. Absolutely decent. The whole team, Saka, Xhaka. Xhaka was always my favourite player. Not. Um,
Mine too, Jez.
he was class today. I mean, we just absolutely roasted Palace. From the start of that game, they were out of it. I mean, all right, they came back at us at the start of the second half, which we knew they were going to do. 3-0 down. They've got to try and get something out of the game. But they just weren't good enough, man. And actually, it highlights what the crack Patrick Vieira, had to work with. And unfortunately, he got booed, but he's working with rubbish. They are one rubbish football team. And I know an awful lot of Palace fans are going to hate me for saying that, because I know a lot of Palace fans. But I'm sorry, guys, that team is awful.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Shocking, man.
No, a lot of Palace fans I think would agree with you though, like the realists.
The real ones, yeah. I mean, yeah. Anyway, yeah, absolutely. And dare I say this, guys? Dare I say this? Mikel Arteta had a plan B today.
I saw that.
He actually
Unreal.
made early subs, and I said to Lee in the chat, "Am I seeing this early sub plan B for that?" Yeah, great performance. Well done, Mikel Arteta, man. Well done.
Yeah, good point, Jez.
Great job. Yeah, couldn't agree more. Prince, welcome to the show, my man. How you feeling about that one? Give us your
Oh
take.
man,
My
I'm
man.
happy, bro. I'm happy. It was like work in the office. Arsenal in the Premier League, they're just a different kettle of fish. But today, like I said, the whole team played well. Like I said, everyone was iffy about Rob Holding, and like I said, he was one of our he was the best defender today. The first thing he did was like he let what's his name know he was there, and just took him out. That's what you do, and put his game off. And he defended well, and the whole team played well. The whole team, you can't even pick a man in the match. The thing is, the only thing sometimes is the keeper. He gets overexcited. Like I seen your comment in the group one. Yeah, you're right. Even me, I think to myself, he likes to come out sometimes for the sake of doing it. He just likes to go big, right? And gets overexcited. Like even with the corner, I thought he could have handled that better.
Yeah.
But he said Martin Odegaard and what's his name, Gabriel, tried it, and the ball went in the net. Then he's screaming at them, and they're thinking, you should have come up and caught it. It was in your post anyway. But yeah, it was a good game all overall. 3 points, put the pressure on Manchester City. 8 points clear, and let's go from there, innit?
Oh, unbelievable. Yeah, no, I feel the same way. I mean, and the one thing that I would say about Rob Holding is that on that one goal, he was caught standing there too a little bit. He played a great game other than that. I'm not gonna like we were talking in the chat. I was gonna say I said Rob Holding was our worst player, but at the same time, like the team was absolutely incredible. Like there's nobody earning less than a 7, I think, for that performance. And we can do a player rating segment if you guys want, but that's like spoiler alert, guys. Spoiler alert. Everybody put in a shift today, and it was absolutely incredible. I thought, Steve, as the resident neutral, give us your take on that game.
I thought you guys started the game very well, and I think that was key to it, right? You let Palace know you're the better team. You're not messing around today. And I think you scored relatively early, if I'm not mistaken. So you really, for me, that was the key today. I think you guys did a wonderful job setting the tone and showing who the dominant team was. Who you know, you showed Palace that you're not messing around today, and I think that's a good reaction to Thursday. So yeah, I thought it was just I thought it was a really complete team performance, and it's really good that Arteta got the likes of Tierney involved, and even Kivior came off the bench. It seemed like everyone made a contribution in the game. So yeah, it's good day at the office for you guys again in the Premier League. So there you go.
Yeah, no, absolutely. DVS, I know you had a long night last night.
Yeah.
But you got up at 6:30 to watch this. What did you think about it?
I thought the first 15 minutes were kind of shaky, to be honest. I think if I remember correctly, Crystal Palace kind of had the first shot on goal. So I thought the first 15 minutes, like I said, were pretty shaky. But I got to say, that's probably Rob Holding's best game in 4 seasons, I think. 3. He was great today, like Jess said. He really didn't put a foot wrong. He could have been a bit more responsible for the goal. But like Fuad said, that's more of a Ramsdale issue. And Ramsdale is great, but he's not at the Buffon level just yet, right? He's still relatively young for a keeper. But he's moving up there, right? But he's no Buffon. He's, none of the, he's not a David Seaman just yet. But he's still a work in progress. So I definitely give Ramsdale. I mean, the other saves he made were incredible. So one small gaffe on a set piece. We give up goals on set pieces quite a bit, so it wasn't surprising to me that we gave up one, because there was a bit of a lull, I thought, in the second half. Yeah. Even though we still looked like we were on fire. But overall, my man of the match, I got to give it to Saka. We'll get into the ratings, I know, TJ. But I know people are saying Xhaka and, oh gosh, who else? Party. But if you look at Saka's 2 goals, absolutely fantastic. Great composure. Great ball, great movement by him all game. What do you say? We're 8 points up, and this is what we talked about the other day. 8 points. This is a key game, and if we can pray and hope that City drop points to Liverpool, which I think is very possible, and we get another win against Leeds, we're 2 points up, boys. And this is what we've been wanting for 19 years. And it almost brings a tear to my eye that, again, we've won 6 straight games. We've got 18 out of 18 points.
Yeah.
Business half of the season. So I don't want to hear anyone hating about, we had luck this season, or we had the rub of the grass, or our schedule was easy. That's bullshit. All right, we have earned this trophy, and we're going to get it.
Yes, DVS, you heard it here first. Just my take on it. We did what we knew we needed to do. Like, if we're being realistic, we had more class than that Crystal Palace team could compete with. Like I said in Lee's chat a few times, the reason we won is because we had the strong midfield. We did not, I was afraid he was going to bring on Vieira when Xhaka got that knock on his knee. I saw him warming up. I'm like, please no, please don't do this to me. Do not do this to me. But he stayed bench. I mean, and we'll get to the player ratings in a few minutes. But Arteta did not put 1 foot wrong today.
Nope.
He didn't. I think that was one of the best managerial performances of the season for Mikel Arteta. And I know we are his
agree
worst
with that.
critics, right?
For sure.
But
I can agree
man,
with that. Yeah.
Man,
65-minute subs, Jez. 65th minute, 67th minute, 70th.
Yeah,
Just-
I think what's happened is with Arteta, I think he knows now because people, I know he hasn't, people being like giving a bit of stick about Kieran Tierney and that, but really and truly, we got to be realistic in there. We got to be. The reality shows us that Zinchenko haven't done much wrong, but then if Kieran Tierney being fit, because you know already Kieran Tierney plays one game. It happened to us how many times last season? It was like played one game out for 3 months. So we don't really know. We don't know if he's been injured, if he's been on the bench, if he's been 100%, if he's been 50%. Because he is an injury-prone player when he's starting for Arsenal. He has been injured. So, but today when he I said that, I called it in the group. I said it. He'll definitely bring on Tierney. Tierney's super fit. He's bringing him on, and fair dues to Arteta. Tierney come on, and did he take off? Who did he take off? He took off Tierney.
Zinchenko.
Yeah, he took off Zinchenko, and was it Trossard for Jesus?
Yep.
Yeah. And
And
then
he
ESR.
took off. He
They
took
took
off
off-
Gabriel for the new kid. I like how he did his subs today. They were all perfect. And now, do you know the good thing about it is? They got a nice 2 weeks off.
Right.
Majority of the team does, yeah.
Yeah, majority of the team got 2 weeks off. So that's gonna help us a little bit. But like I said, when it comes to the league, Arsenal are different. We're not the same Arsenal as last season, and a lot of Arsenal fans need to start to realize that because last year we won this team. Well, this team is different, and we gotta keep Partey just fit for the 2 games, Liverpool and Man City. Partey fits for that game. I'll be the first one to say it. I'm going into that game confident, bro.
Agreed. Couldn't
Yeah,
agree more.
Yeah, Partey's fit. I think Arsenal fans don't have to worry no more because you can see like we're just going off what's happened. Like let's talk present. And the present moment, they're looking good, man. They're
Absolutely.
looking good.
I'm going to bounce out. I've got to go and do my fan cam.
All right.
All right, Jez.
I'll
All right,
and
Jess, we'll see you in a
come
bit.
back. Try and come back. Yeah. Take care.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
It's like TJ Watt. I was like I'm gonna digress towards Newcastle because Steve here. And the other day, I was live with someone on a few weeks back, and I said Newcastle will get top 4 long as if they play Isak.
Right.
I said it 4 weeks ago on this live stream. I said, they said to me, why? I said, because he's a big boy player. Eddie Howe got to understand that. You don't get me wrong. Wilson's a good player, but this kid's a big boy player.
Another level. It's all about levels.
Yeah, he's levels above. So, when you're a defender, you know
Bradford.
Isak's coming at you. When you're a defender, you know Isak's coming at you. Defenders are like, yo, what the fuck? But when you got Wilson coming at you, you're like, bro, I can have a day off.
Yep.
There's a difference. There's levels to it. And that's what I'm saying. So you got to go with the players who are doing it. Like for me, like now, I like how Trossard ain't getting dropped. You can't drop Trossard,
Nope. You cannot.
and that's gonna win. That's gonna cross you the line. And that's gonna win you the league. Stuff like that wins you titles. And eventually, Newcastle realize that when they get to the top 4, they realize they sacrifice, and that sacrifice, even though fans might like Wilson, they'll forget about it if they get Champions League football.
Bro, I'm Isak all the way. He has to be
Yeah, I
careful.
know you are. So yeah, Isak's bad, bro. He's bad, bro.
Bad, man.
But today's game just goes to show, like I said, TJ, in the league, we're different. I know it was upsetting going out of the Europa League, but I just want to win the title, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Well,
in
it's
the
title or
summer,
bust
To
now.
be this close. I mean, it would be, now that we're 8 points up, it would be absolutely just a catastrophic failure if we don't win the league.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a possibility to go up 11 points in 2 weeks. If they lose, or 10 points, if we win, and 10 points.
Yeah.
'Cause
No,
I think
you're right.
Liverpool's going to be up for
I
that
don't
game. Liverpool's going to be up for that game.
Yeah,
That was
them beat either one of them winning. I can definitely see a 1-1, 2-2 draw with Liverpool.
Yeah, I
for
just
sure.
see a draw too.
Liverpool will be up for that game, and that was what I was going to
Absolutely.
say. Is it's looking really, really good for us right now because if Liverpool can get a result, we could be 10 points clear after we.
You know
beat
what?
the
You
shit
know-
out of Leeds.
Right.
You know
'Cause
what?
we will beat Leeds. We will
Oh,
beat them.
You
for
should.
sure.
You
So,
know what's also good about this as well is that sometimes you hear the saying, "Oh,
this team, it's unfortunate there's an international break. Look at what Man City just done. They scored fucking 13 goals in their past 2 games. Damn, international break. So they won't be able to continue this form. They could. They definitely could. But they can't continue it on in the immediate future. They got to wait at least 2 weeks, and they might not be as as ridiculous. I mean, Haaland has 8 goals in the past 2 games. Name a club in Europe that has scored 8 goals in the past 2 games.
Haaland has scored more goals than what percentage of Premier League teams period.
Crystal
the guy's a
Palace
machine.
Scored 4 goals in the calendar year 2023. 4. So Haaland outscored him in 1 game against Leipzig. It's crazy.
Haaland is on fire, bro. But I'll tell you something, though. When he goes to Bayern Munich, that's gonna be his downfall.
Yeah,
Real Madrid. I mean, then again, people said that about Aguero, didn't they? Right when Man City bought him from Atletico Madrid.
I think he's at form now again. But I think when he goes like when he plays the likes of Real Madrid, the likes of Liverpool, I think Haaland, if he don't score in them games, he'll have his little drought again. Like he'll not score, he'll score again, and he'll score when it matters. Then, I want to see what it.
Burnley's not quite Liverpool,
right?
Yeah, right.
Hey,
I mean, you gotta have like Fuad said, you gotta have some present, realistic context of each game, week in and week out, right? Fuad's the realist, Yeah, he's super zealous and he's ready to go every weekend. He's a little more optimistic than some of us, but he's proved us right. We've won 6 games in a row.
Yep.
And you have to keep that positive attitude in and around the squad. It comes from the dressing room down from the owner.
Even today, bro, it's like we look solid. You know, if Zinchenko gets injured, when Tini come on the pitch, you look the same solid. There's no drops of level. Before we used to drop levels. Now if Zinchenko's not playing, Tini starts. I have no complaint for me. I don't care who plays because the level's not going to drop. The same with the midfield. Some of the midfielders like Smith Rowe, when he's fit, he's on fire. But it's just good, Brad. Just keep going game by game. Good win. It's good to see brother Manny inside. What's happening, Manny?
Manny.
Yeah, all good. I'm sorry for bouncing in a bit late. I hope I didn't miss too much.
Not
I had
at
to run
all.
a few errands, and a bit of a shame that Del Boy normally on whose show I normally go on probably isn't available. But I'm happy to come on. This doesn't make you a replacement in any way. So I'm glad you invited me. I'm glad you invited me, and I do have a lot of things to say about the game, and I'd like the way that our dear friend Fuad is being portrayed as a realist. I'm not because if the words of many people in our Instagram chat are anything to go by, Fuad is anything but. But at the same point in time,
Manny, in the present moment.
yeah. So what I'm going to say is, in as much as Thursday was an absolute downer, we needed a result today. We needed a response today. We got them both. Crystal Palace, quite simply, a lambs to the slaughter.
Yeah.
I will credit them though; they did score.
Yeah,
We knew we were gonna leak one. Like I just had a feeling.
Then why'd you predict the shutout victory?
I predicted it before I knew Rob Holding was going to be in the center back position, and I quickly. By the way, if you watch Jez's show yesterday, I changed my prediction because I was like, Rob Holding, great. And by the way, just Manny, I want to let you keep going, but I reached out to Del Boy at being like, hey, are you doing a match reaction? Are you doing a match reaction? He wasn't responding, so. I agree with Craig. Del Boy's probably still hungover from St. Patrick's Day, but I am no means slotting in for Del Boy at all. Del Boy owns this.
Listen. I love what you've done with the channel so far. I'd love to come on Matt Odom's channel as well to see if he's doing anything special. I'm happy to branch myself out, and obviously after Easter, I'm looking to be a little bit more active. But listen, this is a really good thing you got going on, and once again, thank you very much indeed, brother.
Absolutely, Manny. Thank you so much. So keep going. What? Give us your full view of the game, real quick.
Yeah, I will. And what I'm going to say is, like as I said, we needed a response, and we got it. And as I said, credit to Crystal Palace for scoring. But it was a case of, as usual, once we scored that goal, the floodgates started to open.
Yeah.
And obviously, Crystal Palace were good on the counter. And had it not been for, a moment of good fortune, Aaron Ramsdale would have been subjected to the same mocking and catcalls that Emi Martinez was subject to after that game against Aston Villa. And after the night he had on Thursday, that was the last thing he needed. So again, it's all these moments of good fortune that sort of line up in our favor, you could say. But we also proved that more than that, we were good value. I love the way we were able to relentlessly attack them and so forth. And I will give Alexander Zinchenko his props. He did have a good game today. But again, when you take a look at the way Kieran Tierney played after coming on, and I mentioned this in the chat, I don't know if you noticed it. I just think that when you take a look at the way he plays, not only is he able to overlap well and also contribute to the attack, but also have the good sense to run back immediately and track back really well and also defend well. You've got yourself a complete left back right there. You've got yourself someone who has amazing positional sense, who has a wonderful turn of pace, which Zinchenko simply doesn't have, I believe, and with his assist for that fourth goal, he proved that he was more than capable of contributing to the attack the way Zinchenko did. And I'm glad Connor's coming on because he also asked the same question in the chat. How can Arteta not see that we have such a wonderful player as Kieran Tierney in the squad and not really use him or give him enough minutes? And I'm going to answer your question before you get the mic, Connor. The answer is simple. Because Arteta just knows Zinchenko better. He's his Ukrainian blue-eyed boy. And so he can get away with having performances like the one against Sporting Lisbon where he can, still, go walkabout defensively and not be around and also not really contribute much and still get picked because he still suits the system a lot more. But when Tierney came on, you could see that not only was, as Fuad himself admitted, the quality maintained without a drop, but you could see that. I could certainly see. I don't know if anyone else could see that. He lent so much more. 10 out of 10 performance today. Well said, Jaminho. An absolute baller. Seeing the Scotsman in full flow is an absolute joy. And I'm going to say this right now. If he doesn't get to start in many of our league games, at least more than a few pivotal ones from now until the end of the season, then I want him to force through a move and leave Arsenal. A guy like him is too good. And let's also ask ourselves a question, because it's also become it's also been put quite pertinently. We still have tougher tests. Do we really dare try to even consider playing Zinchenko against Liverpool, knowing that he might end up continue to go walkabout and leaving those gaps in the defense for Salah, Gakpo, and Nunes to exploit? Do we do the same thing against Manchester City? I'm really not too bothered with that. And I've also been having debates on Twitter with these people who were saying that the goal that Ramsdale conceded was a part and parcel of the strategy that we employ, playing the high line and playing from the back and so forth. And so these things are par for the course. I'm sorry, but in cup games, mistakes like that can cost you. We saw that with Seaman in 1995, and we saw that with Ramsdale on Thursday. I mean, forget about the save from Marcus Edwards. I mean, as good as it was, any goalkeeper worth his salt makes that save. But you did not, Fuad will agree that you didn't need to be going so far out near the edge of the penalty area when the ball was over there. And so Gonçalves, smart man that he was, he pretty much, saw Ramsdale away from his line and hit it over him, and Ramsdale tried to get back in time, but he just couldn't. And we see this happen time and time and time again. So why do you want to take that risk? And okay, listen, inverted left back becoming an extra midfielder, not hard to understand. Listen, Matthew, mate, I know the thing, but I'm sorry as well. When you play as a left back, you can still contribute to the attacking impetus by also overlapping and supporting your wing back and also maybe trying to thread a pass in, but also have the positional sense to make sure you get back in time and not leave any gaps behind. And that's the way the best left backs have been able to operate in world football.
Prime example is
apart-
Ben White at right back tonight.
Yeah, Ben
Ben
White.
White.
Yeah. I will give him
Incredible.
his due. I will give him his due. He was poor as a centre back last season, but this season, being slotted into that right back role, he's grown wonderfully, overlapped very well, definitely improved from the first game of the season, which was against Crystal Palace.
I rate Ben White. I rate Ben White. I rate him. No, but I agree with you said about the keeper, Manny.
As a right back, absolutely, Ben White is.
Yeah.
No, I agree
Yeah,
with
but
keeper,
listen, let me just finish my thoughts and everyone can come in. And
Yeah,
I promise
go
you,
for it.
I won't take more than 20 seconds.
Go for
So,
it.
aside from the Zinchenko-Tierney debate, it's really hard to think of any player who had a bad game. Even Holding, who I know you didn't rate, TJ, I thought he did everything he had to do. Could he have done some more for the corner? I'm not too sure, but maybe that's probably one black mark.
Agreed.
But I'm also gonna say right now, the questions will need to be asked. Do we really persist with this sort of a high risk strategy, no matter how the rewards may be? In financial terms, I might be risk averse, and Arteta might be more risk tolerant, so to speak. But when it comes to the big games, when it comes to cup games, these are games where one false move can knock you out. So what I'm saying is, if you want to be all gung-ho all the time, you sometimes have to have a little bit of balance. You can't be gung-ho all the time. And that is why Kieran Tierney is so important. And that is why I believe he should start a little bit more, because I don't want to run the risk of the gaps being left in the defense and possibly conceding any goals. I think sometimes now is a time when, instead of continuing to play the risky sort of football, which brings you rewards against teams like Palace and other teams who quite simply don't have the firepower to take advantage of it, we need to be more prudent and make sure that we employ a little bit of balance coming into the run-in. And I hope that some of you will at least be willing to understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah,
I do
said,
actually.
Manny.
I do agree with you. Manny, we do always ask a lot of disagreements, but for the games in Liverpool and Man City, I will rather, especially Anfield, I'd rather see Kieran Tierney there than play the inverted left back, because the wingers will absolutely annihilate us. I agree with that. I would even, what I like to see? I would like Arteta to try something mad. Put Kieran Tierney there and put Zinchenko in the middle.
Alhamdulillah. I'm glad you agree with me on that.
Great.
No, I don't.
By the way, Fuad, I'm really sorry. First of all, let me start by saying Ramadan Kareem, Waqad Barakallah for you and your family.
Shukran. I was gonna say to you, I've been saying that even today, and even I said to Connor, what I say to you, Connor, in Iran, we're gonna bring him on about 60 minutes.
Yeah.
So I think for the next, I think Kieran Tierney for the next few games, I think he's getting him ready for the Liverpool game and the Man City game, because we need to be stale in them games. We need to be solid in the back.
I really don't want Mikel to change formation for that City game. I'm dreading it because I remember that one season, I think it was the season Ramsdale came in, and it was the game before, I think Leonard got dropped. We went for a 5 at the back. I hope we're not going to, because talking about trying to bring Kieran Tierney in, I hope we don't do like a 5 at the back. I want to stay with our formation of a 4-3-3.
We're not going to do that.
Yeah. Hey guys, real quick, I want to.
Yeah.
Sorry, real quick, I want to interrupt real quick just to shout out a few people. Craig, thanks for joining. Obviously, Jamino, seeing you in the chat all the time. I appreciate it. You're going to be my first mod, by the way. I would be honored if you would take that for me. And then, obviously, we got Gary in the building. Gary, great game today. I can't wait to hear your take on it tomorrow. Incredible game from us today. And then we got Connor joining us, the Irishman, stepping in for Del Boy. We're sending out a search party for Del Boy. We don't know where he is. So somebody in Ireland find that man. But again, Connor, welcome to the show. Give us your take on the game. And if I need to step away real quick, don't be surprised. But take it, Connor. How'd it go?
This is the performance I think you were wanting. I think the only thing that could have really topped it was obviously the clean sheet. But when it comes to set pieces, we've been a bit iffy recently. I think we can definitely say that. But no, I think overall we had a very good performance. I definitely agree with what Jez said. I don't know, was it Jez or someone else said it earlier? The first 15 minutes was definitely, it might have been Oregon Gunner actually. I think the first 15 minutes were definitely a bit iffy, especially when Zaha had that first shot. I thought, okay. I thought it was about to go, and I thought, here we go. Now it's going to just deflate, and now here we go. But no, we stayed strong, we were vigilant, and I thought we put in a very good performance. And that's what Jez said that I agree with. Why couldn't we do this on Thursday? You know, if we had that team out on Thursday, I think we could have gone ahead and beaten that Sporting Lisbon team. But you know what it is, We look forward anyway. But listen, this is what we all wanted. It was 8 points clear now of Man City, and obviously they come back. We play Leeds, and then they play Liverpool. So I pray to God that them Scousers can do something, because I swear to God, this season they've been absolutely dreadful, apart from that Man United win, pretty much. So I really hope they can grab something there. But no, overall, really good performance. And I've got to give it to Rob Holding. Apart from at the beginning of the game, we were playing such a high line, and Rob Holding was really getting into Palace's side of the half. And I was like, what's he doing here? Because he did nearly get caught out once. There was one time where he nearly got caught out, and I think it was the Zaha shot.
It was.
He was running, he was tracking back, and he couldn't make it. I was like, oh my God, if he's doing this all game, we're gonna concede here. But to be fair to him, apart from that, pretty solid. Like I completely agree with you, TJ. Nothing below a 7 today for these players. It was absolutely great, and it's exactly how it was against Fulham. We were completely dominant in possession. We were wearing out Crystal Palace. It was unfortunate that they did get the set piece, but it is what it is at the end of the day. I think it was a bit sloppy between Gabriel and Odegaard. They got a bit compact between each other, and that led to Schlupp scoring the goal. But listen, Crystal Palace couldn't handle it today. We completely controlled the game. Thomas Partey was absolutely fantastic today. I think even in the last 5-10 minutes, he actually slotted into the right back role because he took off Ben White. We changed it around a bit, and he's versatile. And I agree with Prince. We just need to keep Partey fit. I mean, everyone's important. Don't get me wrong, but Partey is essential to that team, and we've got to have him for that Liverpool and that Man City game in general. He is so essential. He's absolutely fantastic for this team. What a player he is. And then, but yeah, we look forward now. We've got this international break, which I can't be asked for. In a sense, maybe it's a bit of a blessing in disguise. You know, get 2 weeks off, we get 2 weeks to prepare for the next game. For most players, anyway. But listen, great performance today overall. And I've got to say something else. It's really nice to now see Jay-Z back. I really hope he gets a goal soon, especially after this break, because he needs one. Because even before the injury, he was really looking for a goal. So it's just nice to see him back. And yes, the Saliba news isn't fantastic. I hope he can come back soon. The report said people were saying several weeks, which doesn't sound great, but I'm hoping he can come back. But you know, Rob Holding sat out there today, and I know it's only Crystal Palace, and they're in dire form right now, so I won't take it too far. But he proved out there today he can do the job if he wants to. Just don't be too reckless, Rob, and then we'll be all right. But no, great performance today. And
shot on goal.
Yeah.
Two things. Sorry, TJ, go on.
Go.
Oh, okay, 2 things for you, Connor. Number 1, and for everyone, actually, again, like I said earlier, here's why the international break. Here's why you can be happy. Remember, Man City just scored 13 goals in their past 2 games.
Yeah.
You know? So they could come back and, keep on doing that. But what the good thing is that they don't have a midweek game coming up so that they can keep feasting, They're going to have to, everyone's going to have to come back, and everyone's going to have to, get back on that level. They're not going to win their next game unless they're playing.
Also, I just want to go back on Manny's point earlier about Zinchenko again, because we had this conversation on Dale Boy's channel. With Manny, I completely agree with you. With the Man City and Liverpool game, we can't have Zinchenko doing this inverted stuff. Because if we go to this, because it's working at the moment, but it won't work against this Liverpool Man City team. We can say that for a fact. Liverpool have been so poor, we can't take away from them that they will catch us on this, especially with someone like Salah, Jota, Gakpo, all these different players.
At Anfield.
Then again, what I will say is 2 things to that as well. Number 1, it might be something that Arteta considers, because if you think about it, what has been their Achilles heel this whole season? Midfield. It's inconsistent. They look like demons sometimes at Anfield, and they look fantastic. And Henderson looks like he's 22 again, playing with the fucking Mackhams. And, but then there are times where he looks every age of his, how old is Henderson? 34, 33, something like that?
Yeah, he's about 30.
Milner as well.
Even that's what I mean. Like the midfield, if we go out with the midfield we've got now against Liverpool side, I think we can, like you said, I agree with you there, Steve. Their midfield has been very woeful this season. We can all agree on that. They've had, even with their injuries, they've been absolutely woeful. But their attack has still been pretty decent, even though where they are, they've got goals in them, and that's why I don't want to see Zinchenko running out as the fourth man in the midfield, because that leaves us a three at the back. And with the pace of Gakpo and Salah, I don't like the sound of that.
Exactly.
It might work on the day, we don't know, but I just don't like the sound of that. And hopefully, I think what Prince is saying, I hope Tierney possibly, maybe Arteta's trying to lead him in, but he will be essential for games like that, especially keeping this back line solid. But go on, Manny. You got a point.
Agree completely, but I'm also going to want to go back to a point that Matthew D'Souza made in the chat. I believe when we played against Liverpool at the Emirates, a lot of us were expecting Tierney to play, but instead Tomiyasu came and Tommy excelled. Well, that was actually one what I would call serendipity and an experiment that Arteta tried, because he thought that with Tomiyasu's body shape, it would have countered effectively the movement of Salah, who, as we all know, loves to cut in and then unleash a wicked shot with that left foot of his. I think Salah since then has tried to, add a bit more dimensions to his game, including also doing a lot more work with his right foot. But in addition, that game aside, when we kept playing Tomiyasu at left back, he looked like a duck out of water. I think he struggled against Leeds, if I'm not wrong. And then I think he ended up getting injured, and injury put paid to his chances. So, if I were Tierney, I'd still be thinking, what a slap in the face that was to have Tomiyasu playing ahead of me. Because you see the way what he lends, how defensively solid he is. For Arteta to just do that, that's another reason why this season has not been really kind for Tierney in any way. And I really think that he now needs to go to move on. So it's also a question of basically now, especially with Tomiyasu injured anyway, do you try something different against Liverpool? I mean, is he now suggesting that given that Jakub Kiwior is left-footed, he now sticks Kiwior in at left back because he simply doesn't want to start with Kieran Tierney? I mean, surely Arteta can't be that
naive.
Exactly, naive. Thank you very much indeed.
Risky.
So, I would like to see, Arteta at least show some willingness to change. He showed his ruthlessness to drop players who aren't performing well and make changes to the system that are necessary. I mean, obviously, we're not talking about Eddie Nketiah anymore. We're not seeing that ridiculous "Call Me Maybe" celebration a la Carly Rae Jepsen. I mean, I absolutely love her. And I love her music, but that's I like that track too. But still, I mean, for Eddie to do that, it's just ridiculous. And besides, now that he's injured, the only calls he's making are probably to the restaurants to order a takeaway. I don't know.
With his phone.
With his phone, he topped it up. No,
I got
go, Dave.
Good question though. I want to go back to Leeds coming up in 2 weeks. Do we rest Party and throw Jorginho in there?
No.
Again, I'm nervous of injuries. I know.
100%. I don't blame you. But
I think Jorginho could still do it. I think we can still do a job with Jorginho.
No, I take Xhaka out for Jorginho.
We're really fucked, right? I mean, that's all I'm saying. Right?
No, I think we'll be fine. I think Partey. I know he's injury prone for us, but I am not risking a single match anymore. I know risk of injury or not, we've got to have every single game.
Right.
We have one game a week. The rest of the season, there are no excuses for playing second string players.
Yeah. Absolutely,
none.
Absolutely.
Unless it's like a suspension or something like that.
Exactly. And we won't see that unless somebody gets a straight red, right? So we're past. We've been pretty good on fouls this season. We haven't. Yeah. I think we got into foul trouble mid-season. We had Saka really quick, but now it's gone to 10 yellow cards. So we're great from a suspension point of view, as long as nobody goes bonehead. I also want to say about Kieran Tierney. I was saying this in the Instagram chat, but I'm going to say it here. There are four things that I love. Okay, my wife, my dog. Steven, you can roll your eyes all you want. My wife, my dog, being right, and Kieran Tierney. Okay, that assist.
Mom and Dad?
Oh, they're okay. No, I love them. Come on, Manny. Don't do me like that.
It's a joke, man.
No, don't apologize at all. It's jokes here. Seriously, Kieran Tierney slotting in and delivering that assist. I nearly jumped out of my chair and woke the neighbors
peed.
up.
You almost
it
peed.
was
In your pants.
we have been calling for this guy for months, and he comes out there and does that. So he's showing us, people that have been calling for him, and the clown saying, "Oh, Zinchenko is our only realistic option at left back." Tierney can contribute offensively, and we've been saying that.
Right.
We've been saying that.
He often does.
You need two strong players at every position, in my opinion. So I
Yeah.
don't know why we would even consider getting rid of Tierney. Makes no sense.
I'd only ever get rid of Tierney if the player wants to leave the
I get
club.
it for Tierney not getting his time and so forth, but he's winning. He's on the course to win a trophy. I don't know why Arteta would even consider letting him go. I mean, I think we always need two strong players at every position.
Yeah,
Agreed.
the Man City model.
I'll tell you why, because you know, of what happened with Emi Martinez, and I think he made a quote that was rather, you know, telling. I don't agree with staying at a big club just for the sake of it. If they don't value you, you got to go somewhere else and prove that they don't value you, and that sort of segues back, Matt, to what I was saying earlier. If Tierney does get some more substantial game time from now until the end of the season, and is rewarded for his ability with starts in the more in at least some of the games or the more pivotal games, then you can have him stay. But it's one thing for managers to say, "Oh, we need two great players in every position," but if some of these players aren't getting any game time at all, then why should the player simply feel as though he should be willing to waste his best years as a bench warmer just for the prospect of earning trophies? Because for players of such talent, their real salary is first team football and game time. It's as simple as that.
Sure.
And so, it's like Mourinho would say, I want two players in every position, and especially with some positions, it's quite difficult because the first teamers don't get rested, and the second choice players may not get to play very often. But I need them, and they're just going to have to accept it. Well, I'm sorry, Jose, but I will not accept it. Enough of the accent. I'm not going to accept being on the bench and not getting inadequate minutes from you just so that you can get your two quality players in every position and can sleep well every night. Because as players, they have ambitions, and as a fan, I know how important it is. But we also sometimes have to analyze situations and consider which would be best. Now, next season, if Tierney were to be promised a very substantial role in our Champions League campaign, because his form of football would be very well valued in that stage, especially given that we're unseeded, we'll be coming up against two big teams in the group stage and might still struggle in the knockout stages of the competition if in as much as if we go that far, then maybe he could stay. But he has to be shown respect, love, and trust, and not simply given a few charitable minutes every now and then, and not be expected to say, "Please, Arteta, can I have some more?" Like Oliver Twist.
Some of him not playing those because of his injury record, right? I mean, we've got to put some of that into context as well. Is that his injury record has been really bad, and so I feel that there's probably maybe a little bit of a limit of trust that Arteta has in him. I mean, obviously he put him in today and he performed. And, I slightly disagree. I am the type who I want two strong players in every position, regardless of the manager's style or how they manage I just think that we have the funds, we have the clout, especially now if we win the league, that we should be looking for strong backup players. And I realize exactly 100% what you're saying. No player wants to be a bench player. But if you want to play for Arsenal Football Club, Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United, that's some of the time that you have to spend. You have to be flexible and adaptable to what the team needs. So I get what you're saying, but for me, like I said, we have the funds, we have the structure somewhat in place. Let's go get the best of the best and see what we can do and just continue on.
And on that, I completely agree as well. But then if you talk about Tierney's injury record, what about Thomas Partey?
Emil Smith-Rowe.
Right?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't like Jorginho.
Exactly. I mean,
Right.
I'm not talking about Jorginho, but Partey's
Sure.
a case in point. I mean, you can see that when Partey plays, he literally proves why he's our first choice
Right.
central defensive
Well, you
midfielder.
guys are night and day without Partey.
Right.
Oh, my
Absolutely,
God.
absolutely.
Oh,
Night
Or
and
you
day.
could say we're not exactly night and later that night. We are night and day, as you said perfectly. But yeah, but his injury record hasn't exactly been the best either. And you can
Right.
also also consider that many of the players who joined Arsenal, who had perfect fitness records prior to joining us, but ended up spending a lot more time on the treatment table, more often than not, ever since joining us. So,
Sure.
injury record aside, it is. I'm aware of Kieran Tierney's injury
Right.
problems,
Of
but
course.
Partey is also, has also had a poor record, and he's been more He's probably a more pivotal position than Kieran Tierney's.
I
So
couldn't
if you're
agree
willing
more.
to trust Thomas Partey, why can't you trust Kieran Tierney? Why
Fact.
can't you? Exactly. And
Right.
there was also an occasion where he'd score a goal in the Europa League clash, but then he'd drop back to the bench for the Premier League. That
Right.
is not going to do anything for the confidence of a guy like Tierney. And
Mhm.
maybe there are some players who feel secure in their game and their
Mhm.
status with their national team. And mind you, some of these players are also internationals for their countries who need to have first team football in order to
Right.
stay on the radar for their countries.
And
So
Tierney's one of them,
it's
you know.
not easy for the manager. I can understand that, but it's
Mhm.
even more difficult for the player. And we can all say, well, you're earning a great a king's ransom to be on the bench with us, so you should be grateful. I'm sorry, but I'm not about to judge any player who wants to have more game time and who feels
Right.
that he's not being valued. After Jose Mourinho's first season, he let Scott Parker and Thiago go because they decided that they didn't want to stick around at the club where they weren't going to get game time. And Mourinho said, well, we can't break the legs of such good people like them. And so for Cudicini, they used all sorts of sweet talk to get him to stay, and a fat lot of good that did him because he ended up achieving nothing afterwards.
Right.
What a waste of talent.
Right. I understand. And bringing salaries into it is for sure. You know, that's not really part of my argument. The players get paid what they're going to get paid, right? They're going to get paid what the market allows, and their skills and abilities will get them compensated for.
They're sportsmen
yeah,
and entertainers.
I think we're both saying the same thing, Manny. You know, we're basically, I think, saying the same thing, that we both want Kieran Tierney. We value him. We see what he brings to the squad, and he has been yanked after he's performed well. And that even goes back to Arsene Wenger days, pulling strikers who performed in cup games and so forth. So I think some of that's still embedded into the club too, right? I think that if we coddle players too much, then we end up putting them in games where they don't perform, and putting them in big games where they don't perform. And then you have someone like Kieran Tierney who's willing to give his blood, sweat, and tears, but can't get the minutes. So
Yeah.
it's a real mixture, and that's the manager's job, to really mix that up and get the best out of everybody. And I just to cap it off, for me, I thought Kieran Tierney got a 9 out of 10 today for the 30 minutes that he was on the pitch. He is a different element, a different dimension than what we see from Zinchenko. I don't know if it's really better or worse, right? I think Zinchenko was great today, but of course, I agree with everybody. Like, if we go through a 3-4-3 against Liverpool, we're going to get slaughtered on the wings. So, but Arteta's got a lot of thinking to do.
Yeah.
And by the
absolutely
way,
agree.
back to you.
And Matthew,
Yeah.
real quick, Benny. Matthew, do I have shares in Kieran Tierney? Yes, I do. I absolutely do. This guy is. We have 2 number 1 left backs. Actually, no. We have 1 number 1 left back and one left back that is actually a center mid. So yes, I absolutely do have shares in Kieran Tierney. I'm gonna really enjoy watching him play at Newcastle next year. Steve, you're welcome. I'm just not. Look, people can try to rate down Tierney all they want, but you saw what you saw. Your eyes didn't lie to you today.
Yeah.
He was incredible. I also give him a 9. He was incredible for what he did, and he did a professional cleanup job at the end of that game.
He looked
And
hungry.
It was levels.
He looked hungry.
It was
He looked
levels.
hungry as well.
Yeah.
He took his
And
opportunity.
and I said yesterday I didn't think he was going to see the pitch again. I think he earned a start against Liverpool and Man City. He earns it. And I'm going to say this, I don't trust Zinchenko against Man City. I don't. Not in the slightest. The way that we get countered when we play the high line that we know that Arteta is going to play, we need somebody solid in the back. and Tierney does not drift out of position to where he's going to get caught.
TJ,
So,
even though
that's
like
my shot.
say if like, but even though Zinchenko has experience of like being with them City players, you still wouldn't think like if he wasn't doing that flipping inverted thing of where he's going across, I think in a sense Zinchenko's probably the better option for that Man City game in terms of knowledge of his former players. I mean, did he really show it against them at home? No. Did he really show it against them in the FA Cup? Sort of, not really.
See, I think it's going to be more in his head, Connor. To me, it's good. That's going to be more in his head than not.
Yeah, well, you
Yeah.
saw it. Yeah, actually, to be fair, you
I
saw
don't-
it. It was this FA Cup game. They sort of went around and sort of took the piss a bit and being like,
Yeah.
oh yeah. So
Here's
maybe-
what I'm gonna say. And then I want to do another circle of the panel again on whatever you guys want to talk about with regards
I've got
to
a
the game.
subject.
And okay, perfect. We'll throw it over to you then, Steve. But the last thing I'm going to say about this is that Zinchenko, I don't want to see any buddy with Man City. I don't want to see any patty cake. I don't want to see, oh, we're friends in the tunnel, because that happened last game. Odegaard and freaking Holland playing patty cake in the tunnel while we're getting absolutely creamed by Man City on the pitch. I don't want to see it. This is war. That Man City game at the Etihad, I think is the final, is the game. If we win that game, we win the league. So that's it. That's all. Or we even get a result. We don't even need a win. Get a draw.
Draw, yeah.
We just need a result there, and then we can go. We will go. So, all right, Steve, I'll throw it over to you. Give us something to talk
Quickly,
about.
TJ. I got ahead
Okay,
off.
go.
Quickly. I got head off. But thank you very much for having me on today. Really appreciate it.
No, thanks again, Connor.
I'm still doing the work for you, so I'm busy with that as well.
All right, well, shout out your channel real quick if you got to hop off.
Yeah. So I do graphics. I'm currently doing graphics with TJ's channel, cmo.editing on Instagram. So hit me up, anyone, if you need graphics for your social medias. And thank you very much for having me on, TJ. And thank you for another good panel that's been on today. You all legends. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
later, Connor.
brother.
See you guys later. Have a good rest of your show, TJ. See you later.
Absolutely, brother. See you later. All right, just real quick. Jez's intro is the best intro on YouTube. Mine is going to be the second best. Like, I am very, very excited about the work that Connor's doing for me. It is going to be incredible. All right, Strasburg Steve, tell us, what do you want to talk about? Give us something.
I haven't heard Arsenal fans talk about Emil Smith Rowe. I feel like it's been decades since anyone's talked about him. And I just did a little bit of research in terms of injuries since these three guys who are injury prone, to me at least, I think we'd all agree, Partey, Tierney, and Emil Smith Rowe. Tierney's missed 38 games since he joined the club in the 1920 season. Partey has actually missed 37 matches since 2020-21. Emil Smith-Rowe has missed 26, and obviously he's an academy player, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Correct.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on Emil Smith-Rowe? Does he play any role in this team? And where do you see his best? I don't know. I just feel like I haven't heard anyone talk about Emil Smith-Rowe in ages, it seems.
Let's go to DVS, and then we'll go to you, Manny, because I have an answer.
I think we'll need him in the run-in for sure, because I'd rather see him in than Vieira myself. But I don't know if this doesn't cut it for him. I think at some point he needs to cut his own losses, and we need to cut our own losses and say, "Hey, it's been great. You're a great kid, but it's just not.
Yeah.
We're just moving in another direction." And I don't know. There's a part of me that thinks.
Where do you think his best position is, by the way? Attacking midfield or off the left?
Yes, I think his best is a number 10 in a 4-2-3-1. As the number 10 in a 4-2-3-1. And he's even not bad on the I think he's also a right mid as well. I think he played on in a 4-2-3-1.
He played on the left. He's played on the left and the right.
Yeah,
he's played on the left and the right.
Midfield, but I don't know if he has to be always the box-to-box guy in a 4-3-3, right? If Odegaard's the box-to-box guy, that kind of eliminates Emil Smith-Rowe to it, but I don't know if he's such a good holding midfielder either, right? He kind of plays in that hole between the CDM and the central attacking mid if you're in a 4-3-3. So I don't know. I think this is kind of really a make or break season, but I've said that about him before.
Right.
I said that about him last year. I think the year before that. Yeah, but it's just unfortunate he's with injuries, and I just think that that's again, every spot, even in our bench, is a valuable position, and it goes back to having two top players at every position. And Emil Smith, a good player, but I would consider him a great player.
Yeah.
And I just think there's other options out there. Just for example, I would think something like a Danny Almo would fit in well in that position.
Yeah.
Someone like that. There's maybe a little stronger, taller stature, but still very creative and has good ball control.
Olmo is a great finisher as well.
Evans would be good because he wouldn't push up as much. He'd probably be a little more defensive, which would help Party out a bit more, and that would let Odegaard do his thing. So anyway, it's a make or break season for Emil Smith-Rowe. We just can't have an injured player coming in and out so much. I mean, we just at the point you have to cut your losses.
Fair enough.
Agreed. ESR, Manny, what do you think?
Yeah, first of all, sorry for the little issue. I mean, internet issues have been affecting me. They've been affecting you as well. You know how it is, TJ. But I think everything that Matt has said has been, pretty much. I mean, I don't want to repeat it. There's no denying basically that he has some talent, and it's always wonderful to see a Hale End boy like him do as well as he can. The only problem is injuries have affected his game. I also consider Emil to be more of a confidence sort of player, in that when things are going well and he feels on top of his game, he performs quite well. But if he's struggling for confidence, then that can kind of hurt him, and especially when he's had the injury layoffs that he's had, it can certainly affect someone like him who thrives on that confidence level, and someone who obviously wants to play a big role for Arsenal, but just doesn't seem to be able to, somehow fit in. And I think it's fair to say that when you take a look at the way the team is playing right now, there is perhaps room for Emil Smith-Rowe as a sub, and his injury record also, is a cause of concern. I suppose, like Tierney, the more minutes that Emil gets, the better he can become. The biggest issue is that now that we're out of all three cups, there's no real chance of him being given the starting role to sort of test his skill for the sake of rotation, especially since we've got 10 cup finals now to try and win.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even draw in the case of Liverpool and City. So would I want to cut my losses and have him play elsewhere? I wouldn't mind sending him out on loan, to be honest. I think a loan move to a lower league so that he can sort of get some games and rebuild his confidence would be a really good thing for him. And then we can, take it from there. It's a little bit like, I wouldn't necessarily compare this to when we gave your lot, Steve, Joe Willock.
Right.
And of course, when he came to your lot, when Steve Bruce was manager, he was absolutely sensational.
On fire.
You made the decision to buy him, and he's playing regularly under Eddie Howe, not scoring too many goals, but nobody can question his contribution to Newcastle's run this season. So I'm not going to be the type of person who will just say, cut my losses with Emil Smith-Rowe and let him, fend for himself. No, I think we should definitely try to do whatever we can to help him. I am not saying that we should do a Mohamed El Neni and give him an extra contract so that he can continue his recovery with us.
Right.
But what I'm saying is that if he needs first team football, let him have a loan move to a smaller team outside the Premier League, or maybe even a smaller Premier League team, and let him get some games and get his confidence back. Lakonga's gone to Crystal Palace and looked okay. Maybe that can sort of help him being away from the Goldfish Bowl, that is the Emirates Stadium, although it's a rather leaky Goldfish Bowl if Thursday's anything to go by. So, there's still a future for ESR at Arsenal, but if he impresses on loan and one other team decides that they would really love to have him, like Newcastle did with Joe Willock, then, wish him nothing but the best.
I would love some Emil Smith-Rowe at Newcastle because he fits the profile exactly what you said about his confidence as well. Eddie Howe, he's a very good man manager. He's very personable with our players. So he would give him that confidence, I believe, and he would fit that role so well. Of being the creative midfielder for us. I mean, how much would you sell him for? What do you think his value is with his injuries?
45.
Ooh, that's a good question. I wouldn't mind selling him for about 25. Maybe if somebody were to offer 30 million for him, I'd say I'd bite their hand off.
I'd go higher
just
than
think
that,
of it.
man. 40, man. I'd go 40.
Yeah.
He's talented, man.
I know that's high. I know that's a bit high, but he is very, very good when he is. And I know Manny says loan. I was going to say loan too earlier, but he's been on loan. We've loaned that kid out a lot, I think, since he's been about 17.
Just to RB Leipzig.
That's the that's.
I thought he went. He went on loan to. I thought he went on loan to a lower league team.
Sorry,
too.
let me double check.
Really,
Yeah, double check that. Real quick, while I have a second, I'm gonna go ahead, DVS. Go ahead. No, finish your thought.
I do agree, Manny, that I won't cut my losses. May sounded a bit harsh for the guy, but loaning him out, I think again, what if he gets injured on loan, that sort of thing. I'm just thinking that I don't know. Every season I expect something great for him, and it's kind of a letdown. And I feel for him, to be honest, because he just cannot get 100% fit.
Yeah.
But I gotta go, guys. I gotta get breakfast too and get going. So
all right, big up DVS. Shout out your stuff before you head out.
Love you guys. We're 8 points up. We're gonna fucking do it. Come on,
let's go. Come on.
Cheers, guys.
See you, DVS, brother.
All right, can you guys hear me? Are my internet issues over?
TJ.
Goodness gracious! All right, well, I want to welcome Lee Meadows. We did drop the link in the chat, so if anybody comes through and wants to talk with us, we are more. We have the time and we definitely have the space. So Lee Meadows, welcome to TJ Warren TV. Give us your thoughts on the game.
So I've literally just come off the watching the YouTube highlights, and I've got to say that is a vital win for Arsenal, and so impressive as well. I had reservations, I must say, coming in from Thursday's game in the Europa League, and worried if they would be tired or whatever. But they've just sort of trounced Palace today. To be fair, very impressive. I've got to say, I'm so pleased with Martinelli, and pleased for him. People are saying penalty missed, but I want to say penalty save, by the way. It wasn't the worst penalty I've ever seen in the world on Thursday, but for him to respond to that and get such an important opening goal today against a Palace side that have got something to prove, who lost Vieira in the week. Really, really good.
All right. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, and I got a little scared when we saw Vieira warming up. I was saying earlier in the stream that we were going to see him again. I personally don't want to see him in our midfield ever again. But we can talk about him as well as while we're talking about possible loans. I think we need.
I'd sooner see Patrick Vieira than Fabio Vieira back, quite frankly.
Yeah. Well, Patrick Vieira, they should. I was thinking about this morning. They should have had a welcome back home for this game for Patrick Vieira, and just thrown it in their face. But that would have been a little bit too. That would have been a little bit too harsh, probably. But
no, wouldn't. The Premier League is harsh.
Yeah, I would have loved. I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see that. I mean, especially the scrubs that we saw come to the Emirates today. I'm glad we disposed of them the way we did, because I was a little worried with Rob Holding in the back, but we did very, very well. So I do want to do. I'm a little bummed because we had to lose some folks, but I do want to do some player ratings just for fun here before we head out. By the way, we have 0-0 Man United Fulham at half right now for the FA Cup. For anybody who might be watching that and this at the same time. So,
I am watching it. It's 48 minutes in, still goalless, but
still goalless.
Both teams are playing quite well. Good chances at either end. And
just seen.
Williams just missed.
I was just going to say that he just comes so close.
William missed it.
William, it's Dahi's save. Actually, it's a brilliant save from Dahi.
Yeah,
but we'll get back into it if anything happens from this.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We do have that on in the background. All right. Steve has about like 7 different streams. He's doing his Steve thing going on right now. So
I'm
gonna
watching
just go through.
Lazio Roma though. That's the primary game.
Yeah,
It's
there
great
you
to
go.
see you again, by the way, Steve. It's nice to see you, mate.
Yeah, it is absolutely. What's going on, man?
All good, mate. All good. I'm getting ready for doing something a little bit different on my Twitch stream in a little while.
Nice.
I'm a massive wrestling nerd as well as everything.
WWE.
Are you doing WWE?
Actually, it's an independent promotion. It's a if you guys are familiar with What Culture Pro Wrestling, as was in a few years ago, we are going to watch a match from them in a little bit. 7 o'clock, twitch.tv/GOOOOO meets.
All right. Nice. Yeah. Follow our boy Lee here, guys. If you are into wrestling. Oh, we lost him.
And Fulham have just taken the lead.
Fucking Fulham, get in, Fulham!
Get in, Fulham. Oh, I'm behind.
I can't stand these dickheads, Man United. When they beat us in the Carabao Cup, I thought I hated them.
Who scored that?
Mitrovic.
Of course he did. Thank you.
My guy, Mitrovic. Love it.
Mitrovic is a Geordie. Na. Mitro is a Geordie. Na. Mitro is a Geordie.
Hello, sorry.
Fucking get in, Mitro.
What a goal that was.
What a goal.
What a finish from Mitrovic. He hasn't scored in a little while. And what a finish that was, right in the 6-yard box. 1-0 at Fulham.
Why do you
Ten
guys
Hag looking stressed? Why do
you guys think he's exploded this year in the Premier League compared to years past where he killed it in the Championship and then came back up? Why do you think this year's different?
Probably more confident player than he was previous, I think, Steve. That's what I've always thought. He's been a quality player since I've seen him in the black and white of Newcastle.
Yeah.
To be fair, I always thought he had plenty of potential there. Looking like
It's the
Rashford's
grit.
as well, by the way. Looking like Rashford's limping off.
Ooh. They don't score goals without Rashford, let's be real.
Absolutely.
I mean, Bruno Fernandes will get a goal every once in a while. Sancho, maybe.
Yeah, that was a bad collision with Tete there.
Yeah.
It looks like he's in pain there. Huh.
He's coming off, man.
Ooh, that's not good for Man United fans. Okay. I want to go through the lineups today real quick, and then we'll get back, depending on where we're at. We'll get back to just calling this Man United game. Maybe we do a little bit of a watch along here as well. I got nothing to do today, so let's go. All right, so again, I want to do a player rating segment for Arsenal's 4-1 victory over Crystal Palace. Let's go ahead and start with Ramsdale in goal. Steve.
Ramsdale in goal. 8.
8?
No.
8. No?
Manny! We'll get to you, Manny. We'll get to you. Lee, what did you think? Ramsdale in goal.
Having only seen about 3-4 minutes worth of highlights, I did see several updates. I know he made a couple of saves. On what I've seen, I'm probably 6, 7 probably. 7, yeah.
7's fair.
Yeah,
7 is fair. 7
I'm
is
going
fair
7.
because I'll tell you why. Because listen, Ramsdale is one of those goalkeepers. I'll tell you why, who really irritates me like HE double hockey sticks.
What is this, a Disney movie? We're on rated G settings.
You can cuss on here. I'm never going to be monetized, so you can cuss all you want on here.
Yeah, well, but here's the thing. I mean, Mr. Machala made it crystal clear that, to his credit, he does make some excellent saves whenever he has to, and I think. It was just unfortunate, really, that the save from Edouard was eventually flagged for the striker being offside anyway. But he had a bad giveaway in the second half, and I think there was also a moment where, I believe it was Zaha, where, the save was sort of onto the post, and that could very nearly have hit his back and gone in. I mean, we can't call that an error. But he just just has this ability to really, suffer from some really poor lapses in concentration, and that giveaway, of course, very nearly cost us a second goal. So that sort of kind of makes me a little bit angry with him. And he owed Arsenal a good performance after Thursday because again, he was culpable for that equaliser, and I think his performances in the penalties, in as much as they may be a lottery, I mean, he really needs to be a lot more dominating at times, and that he has a lot to do to become a much better all-round custodian. Although I will accept that he is a more than decent shot stopper. But we need to expect better from him. But he didn't really put too much of a foot wrong, although when he did put a foot wrong, it very nearly cost us. That's why I give him a 7, not an 8.
Okay, I'll
All
go
right.
7 then. Fine.
I'm
You
going-
convinced me.
I'm going 7. Minerals, welcome to the show. You're feeding back a little bit though, brother.
Yeah, man. I'm back, man. Mr. Minerals is here, man. Like,
Mr.
it was
Minerals.
Noah, what's up, man?
I'm
What?
good, man. It was just an echo, bro. I just watched the game,
Okay.
and bro, we murdered them, like, attacking wise, man. Like,
Yeah.
they had a few good opportunities, this, that, and the other. Like, we were due this win, man, because after Thursday, because if we had lost today or something, then boy, everyone would be waiting for us. But like, fair play to the lads, and we finished the chances. Unlike Sunday, Thursday.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. What did you think? We're doing player ratings right now. What would you give Ramsdale today?
7. I'll give him a
7?
7.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, let's continue to cycle through the lineup then. Let's go next. We'll go Gabriel.
Gabby, I think he gets 8. It was solid.
Okay.
Yes.
Steve?
I'll go 7 because it's kind of embarrassing. Palace scored on you. I'll go 7, I guess.
Oh, come on.
Steve, man, we should have beat you in January. You should have beaten you, man.
Yes, you should have. That was pretty piss poor. No, I'll go an 8. I thought he was hella solid. Really, really was. And I think, and also when we get on to Rob Holding, he didn't look that bad either. And I think that's in part due to Gabriel being, really solid this season for you guys for the most part. So yeah, I'll give him an 8.
Manny, you said 8?
Yep, I say 8. I mean, it's
Okay.
wonderful to see that he's certainly improved his consistency ever since being dropped from that World Cup squad, which I think hurt him in a way. And he's learned to do his talking on the field and not to the press gallery. So good on him.
Absolutely. I'm going to give him... a 7. Jez, welcome back.
Cheers, man.
How did
Big
everything
up
go?
Jez, man.
Big up Jez,
Absolutely,
the
Jez.
legend is back. Jez, we're going through doing player ratings. I know you just probably did the same thing with Lee. So do you want to participate? It's up to you, man.
Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. Yeah, so we are up to Gabrielle. How do you think Gabrielle did today?
Gabriel Magalhaes,
Yep.
shift. Didn't put a foot wrong. And I'll do the same ratings that I've done on Lee's to make it consistent.
Awesome.
I gave him a 7. I think he actually is getting better and better and better. And I think he was solid, basically. So, yeah, 7 all round, man.
All right. Rob Holding.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Can I
Lee.
ask about Gabriel?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
That's all right. I want to go with Gabriel with a 7 as well because
Okay.
I think his influence in the Arsenal backline has been so important. We saw last week against Fulham. Actually, he's an immense presence with us, and he's certainly getting back to his best for me. So yeah, great for him.
Awesome. Great for him. All right. Sounds 7s and 8s all around. Sounds good. Let's go. Rob Holding. I'll start with you, Steve, and we'll go around. We'll go around clockwise here.
Yeah, it wasn't as good as Gabriel Magalhaes, but still for Rob Holding standards, that's an 8, brother. That's an 8 for me. Honestly, I thought that you guys would draw 1-1 today because I found out that
Saliba was injured, and that means Holding would go in. And so I was like, all right, you know. And, the Rob Holding tax didn't apply today because you're up 3-0 when you conceded. So it was game over already. And then you added another for more comfort and insurance. So, I mean, Rob Holding standards, that's an 8.
Okay. Manny.
Yeah, well, sadly, Mr. Machala, we don't use Rob Holding standards. We use Arsenal FC standards, and I wouldn't give him an 8. But again, didn't really put a foot wrong. I don't know necessarily if he was at fault for the goal, but a lot of people have been. I mean, I'll be one of those people who admitted who will admit to feeling a little bit apprehensive when Holding came back in. But against Sporting, he certainly looked extremely solid, and he's continued that good form. It just goes to show that you never know how good a player can truly be if he's been out of the spotlight for so long until you're forced to throw him in. And so far, so good. He hasn't done wrong. Of course, there will be bigger tests this season, but you've got to control what you can control. And he was solid, not exactly spectacular. 7.
Jez.
Yeah, I agree with Manny there. I rated him as a 7. He was solid. Didn't really do anything wrong. It wasn't his fault for the goal. It was Odegaard. That was Odegaard's man. And I'm not going to put anything on Odegaard for that because it happens. We've got to be better at corners. We've conceded way too many goals this season at corners. So we need to step up for that. But yeah, I thought he was decent.
Yes, we do.
I think 7's fair for him. My only concern is we'll be going into the Liverpool game without Saliba, so he needs to put a shift in that against Liverpool.
Absolutely so.
Minerals.
Rob, the ratings for Rob Holding. Well, I give him a little 7. I give him a 7. He was fairly okay today. So and yeah, man, he needs to perform at Anfield if you go there, man. Like, I actually fancy ourselves against Liverpool. Like, I mean, the stats don't lie, man. They're a really awful side this season, but it's gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Lee.
I'll again another 7, another solid performance. I thought Rob was fantastic when he came on Thursday. Another solid performance from him. I know there's going to be a bit of a worry against maybe sort of topper end forwards, but for today, do you know what? He didn't really put a foot wrong. So fair play to him.
I will go 7. I think he scares me. He scares me in the middle sometimes, but he played well. He put in a shift. He was above average, I would say. So I mean, and keeping in mind who we were playing too. Palace are dead. They're terrible.
Yeah.
So we also have to keep that in mind too. So I am very nervous about that Liverpool game. I'm very nervous about Man City. If the Saliba injury is as bad as we are hoping it is not. So that's my take on that. Okay. Alexander Zinchenko. Steve.
For me, I'd probably go a 7. Out of 7. I thought Palace couldn't expose the fact that he likes to go into midfield, and they couldn't take advantage of that space. And considering that was Zaha, that's very poor for them. But he didn't, make his weaknesses weren't exposed. So it was probably the good game to play Zinchenko there at left back. So I thought he made a lot of positive contributions, and passing wise, he's always very, very good. He's a very technically skilled player. So for me, I thought, yeah, absolutely. Probably about a 7.
7. Manny.
I was going to give him an 8, actually, because, again, with regard to Arsenal FC standards, we always go by that. But he didn't seem to put a foot wrong. And what really impressed me about his performance was that defensively, he was on the ball. And again, of course, I do take the point that we have to bear in mind that we were playing a rather toothless Palace side who quite simply didn't have the ability to exploit that gap, as you rather expertly pointed out. But again, it's another reminder that when you are a left back, the back says it all. You've
Yeah.
got to be willing to play at the back, defend when you're at the back, and then you can move a little bit forward. And I thought Zinchenko, credit to him, he did his job very well, didn't leave too many gaps to be exploited. I do see why Arteta does like to start him, because he probably lends. I mean, we all know he does like to cut in and be an extra midfielder, but at least today, obviously, he showed that he was more than decent defensively. I still believe, and I think maybe Jez can give his opinions on this later on, that we might need to consider bringing Tierney in for the bigger games, because the risky nature of having Zinchenko at left back means that you cannot afford to do that, especially with the attacking lineups that City and Liverpool will definitely be putting up against us. So I'd give Zinchenko an 8. I thought he didn't make a single mistake. He was better. He was good today.
Jez.
Yeah, true facts spoken by Manny, as usual. The man of total content. And yeah, I thought he did a decent shift. There was a couple of times I thought he went a little bit awry, but no, did it right, and confident in what he's putting in at the moment. So personally, I will give him a 7. The reason I will give him a 7 is the fact that I'm still not convinced about this going inverted in the midfield. I don't like that, and it proved today when Tierney came on. His link-up play with Martinelli is absolute quality and class. So
Yeah.
decent shift. Not going to knock him too much, and I think for me personally, a 7.
Minerals.
Yeah, man. So I rate what's it called again? Zinchenko today a 6. That was a solid enough game for me. Yeah, 6.
6. Okay. He's a little less positive than everybody else. Lee.
Yeah, I'll probably go a 7 now. I was on my stream on my preview thing yesterday, and I was saying I'd really like Tierney playing today because I really think he deserved it, and I thought in terms of squad rotation, I thought he really merited a place. But Zinni played, he did okay. I'm very old school, much like Des, and I want to see my number 3 in the left back position. I'm not a massive fan of this inverted left back free roll kind of thing. And yeah, sometimes it has its advantages. I get that, and Zinni's very good on the ball, but I do have sometimes some reservations as a defender with Zinni. But it did okay today. 7 for me.
All right. 7 from Lee. All right, next. Actually, you know what? I'm going 7. He scares me sometimes. Playing that high line. Obviously, it's Arteta telling him to do that, but he gets caught up, and we did get caught on the counter a couple of times today. So I'm not a big fan of the inverted midfield, but it is what it is. I'll give him a 7. Ben White, Steve.
Oh, I thought he was good today, man. I thought he was good today. I'd probably say an 8 for me. I thought defensively, wow, fed Saka a lot, and did a lot of really good, really, again, a lot of positive contributions to the team. And again, a position change can do wonders for a player and the role in the team and how the fans view him and whatnot. I mean, at center back last year is dreadful. Didn't look anything like the fee they paid for Brighton. How much was it? 50 million for Ben White. So I mean, 50. He didn't look. He 50. He didn't look like a £5 million center back at times. So as a right back, he's transformed. He's transformed himself into a top of the line Premier League right back. 8 for me. Very good game.
Manny.
I'll give him an 8 too. Obviously, again, we need to keep in mind that we were playing against Crystal Palace, but again,
Yeah.
he was able to effectively shut down the offense and not really give them any real chance to, come up and to shine. I do take the point that on the counter there were some occasions when, especially when the likes of Zaha and Edward were able to somehow get him behind that high back line, but defensively again, he didn't miss a single tackle. It can be a little bit concerning as well if White isn't able to track back as effectively, and that is one facet to his game where I would like to possibly see him improve a little bit. But then when he started as a right back, we didn't think he could overlap, and he was able to evolve effectively. Yeah. So the more he plays, the better he gets, and that's what really impresses me about him. I guess on second thought, I wouldn't go so far as to necessarily give him an 8, but again, it's still one of those performances where you can clearly see that he's doing really well. I think 7 would be a perfect rating for him, maybe.
Fair.
Lee, were you going to say something?
I was just going to jump in on watching the United performance. Sancho through, got past Leno, and Williams just done an absolutely unbelievable.
That just popped on my screen. What a save! What a backline save by William. Unbelievable. Fulham looking like they're.
I want to see if that hit his hand though, because if it hit his hand, there could be a penalty.
Did it hit his hand?
Oh, for Pete's sake! He says it hit his chest, but VAR, if it's applied, should.
Yeah, they'll give him the penalty.
That's gonna be a penalty. That's gonna be a
penalty and a sending off.
Let's see what happens.
Willian.
Oh, Willian! That angle, he's done. He's done. He might get sent for that.
He tried, man.
I don't know if VAR.
Unbelievable! It's going to VAR right now. There he goes. Referee's going to the monitor.
That's a fucking bummer, isn't it?
Yep.
Oh
no. Okay. Well, now we can get back to our ratings, and I believe Jez was about to give his. Sorry about that, sir.
Yep, Jez, go for it.
Ben White.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ben White.
Yeah, Ben White.
Ben White.
Yeah. When we went, just to say what you guys were saying, really. When he came from Brighton, I was not impressed. I thought, no, but he's proved me wrong, and I always love being proved wrong. I can't deny that. Yeah. Absolute class today. Didn't put a foot wrong. How he hasn't been picked by Southgate, I do not know. But I will say I'm glad he hasn't, because I don't want him to be risked to be injured in this ridiculous international break, which I think is pathetic, personally. But Ben White, fair play to you, mate. And I gave him an 8, and I stand by giving him an 8.
All right, 8.
Wow.
Minerals.
Ben gets an 8 for me. He played very good.
Yeah, no, I agree. Lee.
Ben White done very well. Got an assist in the game as well. Fantastic. 8 out of 10 for me. It's chaotic at Man United right now. William.
Yeah. William has been sent off
and penalty given.
And penalty given, and Mitrovic is fuming. See you later, William. Couldn't have happened to a better guy.
Don't piss off Serbians. That's all I gotta say.
Lee, Ben White,
snap your neck off.
Yeah, I said with Ben 8. In fact, had a really good game. It's nice to see him back in good form as well, and we're going to need him because it seems like Tomiyasu is going to be out for a long time.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm going 7 now. I want to give him. I'm giving him an 8. He was up and down. He was up and down that right side. Really, there's going to be a penalty. We're going to have to wait on this one and a sending off.
Mitrovic has been sent off.
Did Mitrovic? He's pushed. Yeah, he's done too. Yeah. Wow.
What a clown.
Is that a double red card? It is.
That's a double red. Card. Yeah, that's a red.
Okay, guys, can we please get back to our ratings?
Sorry. Wow, can't believe it. Okay. I'm going 7.5 for Ben White. He was going up and down that right side. Great job. Got caught out a couple of times, but you can't Can't say a bad thing about him other than that. So I think he did a great job. Let's go ahead and go to Thomas Party. Steve.
Thomas Partey, give an 8, man. Give an 8 because in that midfield, you cut off anything that they had trying to go forward. Anything they got the goal, yeah, but for me, just again, he cuts off supply lines. If there's a guy, if someone's trying to carry the ball upfield, he makes good interceptions, tackles. I'd say an 8. Thought he was good, man.
Agreed. Manny.
Without Thomas, there is no party.
Yes.
What's up, Brad? Thanks for hopping on and enjoying the stream. Learn a little bit more about English football here. Jez.
Partey.
Partey.
Mate, look. This guy is absolute class. I said last week on one of Lee's shows, this guy reminds me very much of Patrick Vieira. His physicality, his calmness, his directness. And today, he absolutely bossed that midfield. Palace could not do anything with him today. And he just strolled around. And that's probably the wrong term, but he just was in command all the way. I think he made one poor pass in that game, which did let them in, and they could have scored, but they didn't because our defence covered it. So, this guy just gets better and better and better. And he has somehow developed his shooting boots. I think he may have been practicing on that because he does get the shot away occasionally now, whereas he used to put it into row ZZ. It's now sort of into row 1, but when he misses. But yeah, class, absolute class, man. 8 all day.
8 minerals.
Party for me gets some 8. He played very well, man. He bossed the midfield.
He's absolutely incredible in the midfield. I couldn't agree more. Lee.
I will go with Partey with another brilliant 8. Not just bossing the midfield. I think he covered it right back for a little bit at the end of the game as well today. Our back line at the end was quite hilarious, to be honest. But it was a great performance from him again. Brilliant from him, and he's so important to our midfield and how he dominates. I love the comparison with Vieira, by the way. That is just absolutely spot on. And the thing is with Partey as well, I do feel with goal contribution as well, I do feel he probably has more to offer than Patrick ever did. But really good game from him again.
Now, a question here. When you compare him to Patrick Vieira, are you saying like the skill set, the physical stature is similar, or what reminds you, I guess, of Vieira?
Me?
Go to Jez first.
Jez, yeah, sure. Then Lee or whoever wants to chip in. I don't care.
Well, his physicality and his calmness on the ball.
Composure, okay.
Once he's got that ball, he's very, very difficult to get the ball off him.
It's like a dog with a chew toy. Don't let go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, when you compare him, when you look at him to how Patrick Vieira strolled the ball, Vieira and him are not quick, rapid players. They never were. But their intricacy of how their footwork can absolutely devastate an opposing midfielder defender is class. And that's what this guy can do. Yeah, okay, it took him some time to settle into the team, but his contribution when he's fit is fantastic. My only concern is he is prone to injury. We've seen that, and when we haven't got him, we don't look the same midfield. No way. And we unfortunately don't have a player to come in and back it. But saying that, when Patrick Vieira, a legend of the club, was injured, we had nobody to back him up, really.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. You don't often have two players in your squad of that level of ability.
Right.
Fact. And the guy is just a genius to me, and he will go on and become better and better and better. As did Vieira. You know, we all remember when Vieira joined the club, he was like, "Who's he?"
I was there.
Came from Monaco, right?
Nah, he came from AC Milan, bro.
Sorry.
Macy Milan.
Yeah, man, he came from AC, innit?
AC Milan, yeah. And
Yeah.
it was like, who's this fella then? And it's only the fact that Wenger had the French link up. You know, back in time, you remember how many people from France Wenger bought because he can attract those players. And this guy he's going to be immense.
Yeah.
Fact, he's going to be immense.
Yeah.
And,
He will be immense. He will be immense. But
and-
Jez, if I can just come in here, sir. I mean, you did say that when Vieira got injured more often than not, we didn't really have anyone to replace him. I do seem to remember, though, a certain gentleman who was affectionately called the Romford Pele, one Ray Parler, who also played in an almost similar position to Vieira. I will accept that maybe he wasn't necessarily deemed good enough to perform the type of role that Vieira did, but whenever we would see him perform, he also would lend quite a bit of bite to the midfield. And certainly, if you saw his goal in the 2002 FA Cup final, you know that he had a pretty good shot on him too. So it is fair to say that when you talk about how there is no adequate backup for Vieira, I mean, I'm not too sure how you can ignore Ray Parler, or would you say that they're both completely different players in their style?
Absolutely different players. I was at the 2002 Cup final in Cardiff.
Against Chelsea, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And when he had the old thing in his hair. But, you know, we had Lundenberg there and all that. They were, to me, Manny, they were different players.
Okay.
They were. Vieira was a stroller, commanding stroller. To me, and I'm respecting what you're saying, obviously. Parler was more of an impact player, maybe.
Box to box midfielder, maybe.
Like
more
a box to box, like Lampard.
Whereas Vieira was more of a. I'm trying to find the right term, to be fair. More of a dogged sort of, will bash it out type of player.
a ball-winning midfielder.
Yes.
Like Makelele and Kante.
Yes.
Just.
You know, very much. I mean, you know, we know the battles between Vieira and Roy Keane. Dear God, I mean, some of those, those were epic clashes, and you know, it was literally World War III between them two. So, yeah, no, Manny, I think you're right in what you're saying, man. And I do agree with what you're saying. Parler could come in for Vieira, but I personally, I think their style of play was not similar. I think Vieira was more of a stroll type player, strong, and Parler was more of an intense player, and more of a box to box type player. Personally, that's my personal.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right. No, great conversation. We love it. We love it. All right. Where do we leave off? Sorry, you lost me.
We were discussing party, and now we have to keep going through the midfield.
Yeah. So did Lee? Did you give yours on party?
I gave him an 8, so I think we're on to.
I think we're on minerals. Minerals.
Yeah, man. Party, right?
Yep, party.
Party was solid for me, so I'll give him like 9 today.
9. He did boss it. I would say he's an 8 for me, but he could definitely drift into a 9. Lee.
Yeah, I'll go 8. I think we already asked me, to be fair, but
yeah,
he played in central midfield. He did a bit of right back. Great performance from him, and needed the minutes as well. Great stuff for him.
All right, Granit Xhaka.
The knit, man.
Steve.
Jaka, give me an 8 for him. Jaka was very good today. Very, very good. I'll let these guys emphasize more, but yeah, I think an 8. Very, very, again, another player that's turned it around. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. The thing about Shaka, which makes me really happy, is that just when you think his performances have started to dip, he turns around and comes up with a performance like that. Again, it's against Palace, but again, he did what he had to do. He was dominating, and you can't really knock a person who got a goal and was able to, maintain that intensity. I think there was a bit of a point when he very nearly got himself quite badly injured. I mean, the back of his knee was being stretched a bit too far, but he shook it off and continued to play. I'd like to give him possibly. I think I wouldn't mind giving him a 9, to be honest, because I actually thought when you take a look at the impact that Xhaka had, in as much as Partey was magnificent today, I thought Xhaka just took it to a little bit of another level, and he was basically everywhere near the end, helping out, also providing some support for Kieran Tierney when he came on, and they were also working as a team, trying to make sure that the defense was solid on the left. And so if we lose him to injury, then that would be another big loss, because the prospect of bringing Jorginho in for either Xhaka or Partey doesn't fill me with confidence. And I was raving over Jorginho's performances when he started, but he has started to show that lack of stamina, perhaps, that led to his time at Chelsea coming to an end.
Yeah.
But as long as Xhaka's fit, he has to play. He's the one who sort of drives the team forward more than Odegaard ever can. To me, Odegaard might have the armband, but Xhaka's the real captain of the team. So 9 for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jez.
Yeah, Granit Xhaka, my favourite player. Not. But he's proven me wrong, and I've said before, any player that proves me wrong, fair play, respect. Absolute class this season. I think somebody's had a chat with him. Maybe he's had a little bit of, how can I put it, psychology, because he's not doing the stupid Xhaka nonsense that he used to do. He got a nasty knock today, and I thought, oh dear, that's an injury to the knee, but fair play to the fella. And he'll get worked on, make sure that doesn't go stiff. And I thought his class. Great goal. The intricacy in that work to score that goal, absolute brilliance. And I will give him an 8.
Minerals.
So, Granite, yeah?
Granit.
For me, Granite gets a solid 8. He bossed that midfield, and his goal was striker-esque.
Yeah, agreed. Buried it. Did what he needed to do. Lee.
Yeah, I'm going to go a 9 for Granit. I'm very much like, and I've been known in my previous life as well as saying I've never been Granit's biggest fan, but again, he's the whole season he's been really good. He works so much better alongside Thomas Partey as well. Gives Granit a little bit more room to move a bit further forward. That's how he thrives. Took his goal great. That's 2 goals in 2 games for Granit. And brilliant from him. What a turnaround for him. And you've got to bear in mind we just played Crystal Palace, where it looked like his career was over.
Mm-hmm.
When a couple of years ago, when he got that red card, he got substituted and threw his shirt away and lost the captain's armband. But the point was made a minute ago that the Odegaard might have the armband. Granit certainly as a mouthpiece in that dressing room, and goodness me, he's so influential in there.
Absolutely. Okay, and I'm giving him an 8. I'm giving him an 8 because I'm saving my 9s for a few other folks here. Martin Odegaard.
Odegaard, I'll give him an 8, man. Very, very slick. Very slick. The play, like he sometimes I feel like he'd force it. When he performs badly, I think he kind of forces it a bit too much. Maybe tries just a bit
overthinking. I don't know. There's just something about it. When he's feeling confident, though, it just looks a lot more natural, flows with the game, and does the simple things right, and then he has a bit of quality in it as well. I thought it was an 8, man. Very good performance. Again, real slick. Just a very, very slick footballer. Talented. Very good. Very good.
All right, 8 from Steve. Manny.
Yeah, he gets an 8 too. I mean, Odegaard is another one of those players who frustrates me at times. He reminds me of the girl who has a pretty little curl right in the middle of her forehead. When he's good, he's really, really good. But when he's bad, he's horrid. But today, he was very, very good. And I'm not just sort of saying that to make sure it rhymes. I think Steve just nailed it. If he doesn't force it, if he's just able to, lend his sort of style to the proceedings and do what he does best, that is when he's at his most effective. I suppose it also underlines how important it is to have Xhaka and Partey over there being more of the enforcers, if you will, because it sort of gives Odegaard room to sort of play more of his natural game. But if he is given more of the responsibility to do, take up a lot more of the initiative, that's when he can sometimes struggle. So he did everything he had to do. I thought he was able to contribute to the fluidity very well indeed. And no fuss, no real flutters about it. He gets an 8, no doubt about it.
8. Jez.
Yeah, decent shift by Odegaard. Gets involved. I just wish he would get more involved against the bigger teams. No disrespect to Crystal Palace, but they were bloody awful today. And it just shows what Patrick Vieira, unfortunately, had to work with. And it's a great shame that Patrick Vieira, in my book, went to Palace because they're, at the moment, a nowhere club. And, sad for him. But anyway, Odegaard, decent shift, mixed it up, got involved and created possible chances. 8.
8 for Odegaard. Minerals.
Well. Odegaard, for me, he gets 8. He gets a 7 because he didn't score. Like, I wish he scored today. So for me, he gets a 7. And man, he controlled games. Jez, like, what do you mean? He was good. He delivered against Man United, delivered against Spurs, and he done well against Chelsea. So what do you mean, Jez, that he doesn't do in the big games? Last season, didn't he bully Tottenham and Chelsea away, and United at home?
Sorry, mate, but what did he do against Man City?
That's one game, Jez. That's one game.
Yeah, one game against the best team in English football.
Aren't you above them? And he's our captain.
Minerals, he disappears for games at a time, though. I mean, he disappeared for that 1-0 loss against Everton, too. So he needs to, I think, consistency. I mean, he's arguably, if I could talk, been one of the best center mids in the Premier League this season, but he disappears. Like, they call him Casper the Friendly Ghost because he disappears for games at a time. Games at a time.
Fairs, Jez. So
And I suppose we can also point out that as Jez did, that it was Odegaard who was muscled off the ball when Palace scored their equaliser, a little bit like the Tarkowski winner against Everton. So
yeah, he forgot to mark him.
I think it's fair to say that if we never see Martin Odegaard try to mark anyone from a set piece again, it will be too soon.
Fair. Lee.
I'll go with Odegaard a 7. I think he probably had a better first half than he did the second. Solid enough on the ball, but not great on the Palace goal.
No.
Agreed. I'm going 7 too. I am going 7 too. Leo Trossard. Steve. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Yeah, I'll give him a 9.
I'll give him a 9. What a fucking player you guys got. He's dynamic. He knows he's got such a high footballing IQ. He can dribble, pass, shoot. He hasn't taken he's taken barely any time at all to adjust to Arsenal joining in January. He looks like he's been playing there for quite a long time. I think he's a very adaptable player, and I think the consistency that I did criticize him a little bit for at Brighton, which could have done better. Well, now that he's surrounded by a caliber above in terms of players, albeit Brighton are a very good side, I think he's seamlessly just blended into Arsenal, and I don't think he's played a bad game for you guys. 9.
Agreed. Manny.
I agree with everything that Mr. Machala says, except I wouldn't give him a 9. 8 for him as well, because yes, he was able to, control a lot of the play coming up. And I think one of the biggest issues was that when it came to the early part of the game, I think somebody said it in the chat, it might have been you, TJ, that we're being a little bit cute in the final third and we need to try to shoot a little bit more. And look, him over Eddie Nketiah any day of the week and twice on a Sunday. But, he probably didn't get as involved as, I would have liked to have seen him get involved. But obviously, when you see him link up with Martinelli and also Saka on the right, that is a front three that has to be feared. I mean, people talk about Salah, Nunez, and Gakpo, and obviously you're going to talk about Haaland, Grealish, and Foden, or whoever Guardiola decides to stick up there. But I think it's fair to say that Trossard, Martinelli, and Saka are very well a front three that could be that should be taken very seriously, and Trossard has played his role in that. So yes, he has blended in seamlessly, and I'm really delighted that we've signed him. Sweeter than the best Belgian chocolate, if you will, but I wouldn't give him an 8.
I love that, mate. Brilliant. Poetry.
Yes, I try.
Me next, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Trossard. Another assist. Great to see it. And the guy gets better and better. A snip at 25 mil. Who knew Edu can actually do a decent transfer? Love the guy. And another one that will get better and better and better. He gets an 8 from me.
8 from Jazz Minerals.
Well, for me, Leo gets 7, man. I wish he scored. He played very good. Solid 7 for Leo.
Yep. Lee.
I'm going to give Leo an 8. What an impact as a January signing. Assists everywhere. What a breath of fresh air he is to our front line. What a piece of business that was. And brilliant. I couldn't be more pleased for him.
Okay. Well, I give him an 8 too. Leo Trossard has been my Arsenal player of the year since he came in. He has been absolutely, I think he has been the catalyst. If we did not bring him in, we would not still be top of the league. If we did not bring him in. So you got to give that's the only piece of transfer business that you can give Edu any credit for. And honestly, I feel like he fell into it because Trossard was falling out at Brighton. Steve is losing his mind. Lazio must have just scored.
Yeah, man. Shameless Steve, man.
He is shameless Steve Makala. That's what we're going to call him now. Shameless Steve.
Well, he needs something because United have just beaten Fulham. Bruno Fernandes with a breathlessly late goal deep into stoppage time. So any happiness that he can get, let him have it.
Yeah, there.
Yeah, the scenes like this, man.
This guy.
Roma!
Oh my god. Steve's out of control. Somebody put this guy in a cage. Put this guy in a cage. He's being an absolute animal. Oh, Steve, can you breathe just to finish these player ratings up real quick? Jeez.
Go for it.
All right. We just finished up with Leo, so we're gonna Gabriel Martinelli.
I'd say another 8. looked dynamic today. Great finish. Really, really good finish. That'll do his confidence the world after missing the penalty. So yeah, I'd say an 8 for him, man. What a player, honestly. What a player. So
Manny.
yeah.
You just can't keep a great man down. And anyone who dares to blame this boy for missing that penalty, hang your heads in shame. You never ever blame anyone who misses a penalty because penalties are always lotteries. He was sent in at that pivotal position to take that penalty, just as Stuart Pearce was for England in Italia 90. And, he bounced back magnificently, again against Crystal Palace, but you can only beat the teams in front of you. I suppose if there is a little bit of criticism to him, it's that he probably started to tire a little bit in the second half. But he's also the type of player who obviously wants to try to get involved and really keep scoring goals and proving a lot of people wrong. And he's just continuing to do that wonderfully well. And so I'm definitely going to give him an 8. I thought he skinned Joel Ward down that left wing. Joel Ward had to be sent to the maternity ward, as it were, or the psychiatric ward, maybe. But yeah, what can you say about Gabriel? Nothing much else you can say about this Gabby goal. 8 for me, though. 8 for me.
Jez.
Absolutely. Class player. Glad we've tied him down to a new contract back in February. We needed to do that. We've got to keep hold of this young man. He's going to get better and better and better. Every one of his goals is quality. Every one of them. And the fact that he keeps slotting them away, I love it all day long. And twice on a Sunday, as Manny says. And he gets an 8 from me.
Minerals.
Listen, man, Gabby goal, our boy, the Brazilian 11, number 11, Why? For me, my man gets an 8, bro. What a goal, man. That was Thierry Henry-esque, man. Thierry Henry would be proud, blood. So, yeah, man.
All right, 8 for Minerals. Lee Meadows.
Okay, then. I'm going to go with a big old 9 for Martinelli. Not just for his all-round performance, not just for his goal, but strength in character after Thursday. Brilliant. Well done, young man. Takes a lot for someone, and I'm of one that I've been saying goalkeeper save rather than penalty miss, and I would say for him to come back with no signs of anything worrying him, off he goes, carries on, very sharp, early doors, great goal from him, early doors, and I'm so pleased that we've got this young kid, and he is still very young as well. He's doing so well for us. What a future this boy is going to have in English football as well. Going to get better and better.
I am going to go... Thanks, Lee. I'm going to go with... It's my channel. I can go with House. I'm going 8.5. He wasn't quite a 9 for me, but what a finish on that goal. Absolutely class. I mean, we were talking, the team was just getting way too cute in that final third, and Martinelli's like, give me the ball, I'll finish the thing. And he did. Absolutely incredible finish. I'm giving him an 8.5. He wasn't quite a 9, but an 8.5. All right. Steve, we're coming to the end here. Are you okay? Are you all right?
Roma scored, so I freaked the fuck out.
We saw that, and it was very funny.
But it's disallowed. So
okay.
I'm not angry anymore. No, we're literally up a man, and we conceded shitty set piece. It was offside, so we're good. We're good. So anyway, how are you?
Bukayo Saka.
Star boy.
9 all day, every day. He is one of my not just favorite players. My favorite as a neutral at Arsenal, bro. He's one of my favorite players, just straight up. Love watching this kid play. I just think he's just so direct. He's so brave. He's
he's always a man for the occasion, no matter if it's a big game, small game, a cup game. If he had more support from his team, he could do more. This guy, he's just so dependable. He's so dependable, and he gets better year after year after year. And what a player. 9.
Manny.
Perfect 10. No discussion.
Jess.
This guy just gets better and better, doesn't he?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, he's not. He for a young man, he must have a very, very strong mindset
And good people around him as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. And fair play to the young man. I don't know if I've been that mentally strong at his tender age to go up and what happened. And I agree with Steve. I wouldn't say that was a missed penalty. I said that was a good save. And fair play to him. But, 2 goals. I'd have loved him to have got a hat-trick. I would have really loved it. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. And my man of the match, a 9.
Minerals.
Hey, Starboy Saka. For me, the Starboy gets a 10 because that performance was unreal, man. Boy, first
so
goal,
good.
second goal, man. He was that was a Messi-esque performance.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh. Minerals coming with the M word.
He was sick.
He was sick. Yes. Lee Meadows.
Right, I am going to go for a whopping great man of the match performance. Bukayo Saka, I love you, son. 10 out of 10. And while I'm talking about Bukayo, I just want to point out this wonderful hoodie. Hope you can see it properly. From Golazzo.
Shout out, Fran.
My colleague over on Gooner Gathering, Fran, is awesome. And I've just got this from my little girl. And Bukayo, brilliant from him. What character this lad's got. 2 goals and assists. And honestly, Jez, you're kind of from the same sort of generation as I am. Maybe you're, I've got a little bit more head. No, I'm just saying that he reminds me so much of Rocky Roadcastle as well. The comparison, the 2 number 7s, what a long-term impact this young man's going to have for Arsenal Football Club is just incredible. This young man.
I cannot say enough about Bukayo Saka. What can you say that hasn't already been said 1,000 times? People were saying in the chat that he was looking like crap in the first few minutes of that, and I'm not going to name any names, and I'm talking about the Lee Gunners chat. I'm not going to say any names. Sometimes people go into that chat just to say something controversial and rile people up. And I said, you're crazy if you sub this guy off at any point of a game, unless he's injured or he's tired. I cannot say enough about this kid. 10 out of 10. He is going to be a generational player. This
Already is, brother. He's on the way.
Yeah. So, all right, real quick, we're just, I want to keep the discussion to a minimum, except for one Scottish left back, if anybody wants to comment on him, but I'm going to go through the subs real quick. Emile Smith-Rowe, Steve.
Didn't see. How long was he even on for?
He wasn't on very long.
Okay, non-applicable.
Okay.
That's how I do it.
So we'll just go not applicable because I think he came on for like 9 minutes. He turned in a shift. So yeah, we'll go ahead and skip him then. Gabriel Jesus then, Steve.
How long was he on for again?
Oh, he was on. I mean, he put in. I think he was on for like 20 minutes or something. He was on for a little while.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're right. Okay. I would probably say. Sample size, I'd probably say about an 8. I thought he just slotted in, and it was kind of business as usual. I thought he was good, man. And it's good to, bring him into a game where you're already demolishing the opponent. So, I thought he just, getting the match back up and probably an 8.
Gabriel Jesus played for 25 minutes.
Yeah. Give him about an 8.
Cool. Let's go, Manny. What'd you think, Gabriel Jesus?
A bit of a disappointment for me because here's the thing: he's coming off after an injury, and just like against Sporting Lisbon, against whom I thought it was a bit of a mistake to start him in hindsight, he did also come in, but obviously his lack of finishing means that he is still slightly off the pace and lacking a little bit of confidence. And I would like to see him really come off the bench from here on in, because with the front three performing so well, there is no room to rotate or change him. And there is no doubt that he does provide a great deal of value to the team. And sorry about that, by the way. I don't know how that disturbance came around. I don't know how this disturbance came around. But with Trossard doing so well, I don't see Jesus starting any games in the remainder of the season. But I suppose the more minutes he gets, the the more confidence he can get. And obviously, it was a good time to bring on both Jesus and Tierney to give them some substantial minutes and let them get some sort of some confidence going back in. And I'll give him a 7 because I didn't really see too much from him. He still needs to really work hard to try to get back to the level that he was before he got injured. But the signs are encouraging. The signs are encouraging.
Jez.
Jesus, class. Didn't really make a massive impact. I'm glad to see he's gradually getting back to his best. It's going to take a few games. Let's be honest. He's got to get back into his match fitness. He had an opportunity. Unfortunately, it didn't fall for him. But I'll give him a 6.
Mineral, sorry I keep muting you, man. You're feeding back a little bit. Minerals, you there, my man?
Noah?
Nope, he is
Yeah,
gone. I think he was having some feedback issues. It's all good. Yeah, Jamino, we're doing player ratings right now, my man. Go ahead and put yours in the chat if you would like. We're about done. We're about finished up here. Lee Meadows.
Hello, sir. Right, I want to go with Jesus. We'll go with a 7. Great to see him back on the field for a few minutes. Had a part to play on the very last goal. It was all about getting him a few minutes when the game was won, to be honest. But in terms of where he goes, the international breaks come at a good time for him. He gets another couple of weeks of training down. Let's see where he is after that. And he's got a job on, to be fair, because Trossard have come in and done such a good job. So, but happy to see Jesus there, strength and depth.
Yep, agreed. Minerals, are you back with us?
Yeah, man, I'm back.
All right.
Yeah, man, I'm back, man. Yeah.
Gabby Jesus.
Gab, I give him a 6, man. Didn't do much, but he had some energy. Yeah, 6.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he put in a shift. I'm gonna give him a 6 too. Let's see here.
Tierney's probably the only one to go with.
Kieran Tierney is really the only one that we want to go with. Jorginho came on, and so Jorginho, he was on for just 2 seconds. So let's talk about Kieran Tierney, and then we'll go to Arteta, and we'll probably wrap it up. Steve.
Yeah, definitely giving him a 9, bro. Definitely giving him a 9. He took his chance. Arteta gave him minutes, and what did he do? He got an assist, right?
I got an assist. Yep.
Got an assist and looked, just looked the part, man. He deserves more first team minutes, and that's why. Because he was I thought he had a very strong cameo for sure, man. I'll give him a 9, bro.
Manny, you look. I don't think I've ever seen you this relaxed. Why don't you tell us why?
Well, you're going to love what I'm about to say, TJ, and I'm glad that nobody calls you TJ Hooker, by the way, because that would be awful.
I've gotten it before. Don't worry about that.
Well, there are fewer sights more amazing in football than seeing Kieran Tierney running down the field and also doing his bit as Arsenal's left back. And I'm going to say this right now. The reason why I am always frustrated seeing Alexander Zinchenko starting ahead of Tierney is that he's proved right now that as a left back, his sense of positional awareness is absolutely second to none. He bombs down beautifully, but also has the ability to track back wonderfully. He is able to read the game really well and also make a last ditch tackle quite brilliantly. Zinchenko is improving, but Tierney's just a pass master in that. Not pass master. I mean, he does have a good pass on him, but a pass master. I hope that avoids confusion. And that's one of the reasons why I am really angry seeing this poor fellow being wasted on the bench when you can see in those 25 minutes he added so much more to the game than Zinchenko did. And that may be harsh on Zinchenko, who had a good game today. But it has to be said that against Sporting Lisbon, he was anonymous. And against the bigger teams as well, against Manchester City, he didn't do too much either. And that's one of the reasons why I do not want to see Zinchenko starting against Liverpool or Manchester City and running the risk of leaving those gaps in the back, which could easily be exploited by that front three that Liverpool has. But sweet cultured left foot, wonderful speed down the wing, terrific passing ability, great positional awareness and player awareness. To me, he is just the archetypal left back. And I know that a lot of people will compare him to Ashley Cole, and Ashley Cole was also wonderful. But for me, in the early years that I was watching Arsenal, I absolutely adored Nigel Winterburn, who had those same qualities. And as a defender as well, you know, he's quite simply, you know, immaculate. Whether it's stopping an attack or putting in a last-ditch tackle, reminds me very much in many ways of Nutty Winterburn, who had those same qualities as well. Of course, Nutty didn't score too many goals for us, but the shifts that he put in were more than worth their weight in gold. And obviously, Cole came in and sort of upped it a little bit. But then now that we have Tierney here, it's not too much of an exaggeration to say that he is almost certainly our best left back since the days of Winterburn and Ashley Cole. And that's no disrespect to Bakary Sagna, but you see Tierney, you just feel that level of happiness, that level of joy. You see a freshness in his play. You know that when you have him in your team, you're going to get the complete package. And that is why, if he doesn't start too many games or get anywhere near enough minutes in these closing games, I want to see him force through a move. I know how important it is to have two left backs, two quality left backs, but sometimes we've got to think about what the player wants, and players like him deserve to be playing as many minutes as they can get. I'm tempted to sort of stick with an 8 because he was only on for 25 minutes, but given that he was on for a little bit longer than on for 25 and did arguably a little bit more than Zinchenko in terms of attacking and also defending, because Zinchenko didn't have an assist, mind you, I'm going to say, what the heck? I'm giving him a 9. Well played, laddie.
Jez.
Kieran Tierney, best left back in European football, in my book.
Oh, Jez.
Absolute class. And Arteta, I don't know what you're doing, man. Why you don't start this fella. Yeah, I know you like Zinchenko. You've worked with him before. But there's a world of difference between Zinchenko and left back and Kieran Tierney. Zinchenko, happy to see you in midfield. That's where you like to play, because that's where you end up going. You go inverted and disappear and leave that left flank exposed. And the link-up play between Martinelli and Tierney has been proven for 2 seasons. So why not stick with something? Why fix something that ain't broke? I don't get it, man. Tierney came on today and proved a point and said, basically, look at me. Look how good I am.
Yep.
And we know that come the transfer summer, people are going to come in for him, notably probably Newcastle, rumours, Real Madrid. Well, you know, let's be honest. Choice between Newcastle, Real Madrid. You know where you're going to go. Fact. It is what it is. We need to hold on to this guy. We won't. I don't think Arteta rates him. So sad to say that. For some reason, he prefers Zinchenko. Zinchenko's good, man. He's a good player, but he's not very good at defending. He did a job today, but Tierney, absolute world class down that left wing today, and can't knock him, man. The fact that he came on as a sub, I will give him an 8. If he'd been as a starter, he would have got a 9 because he didn't get long enough to prove how really good he is.
Minerals.
KT, eh?
KT.
So, Mr. KT gets 9 for that assist. And the way he ran down Olise, man, was tracking him down, made him ineffective, you know. So yeah, man, very good. Go on, Lee.
9 for Minerals. Lee.
Yeah.
KT gets an 8 out of 10 for me. Brilliant for him to make a bit of an impact in the limited minutes he had. Great for an assist. I love watching KT play at left back. I wish he played a bit more. But here's what it is. KT making a point today. Brilliant from him. Generally, all round, wonderful stuff.
All right. Real quick before we go into our Arteta. By the way, I'm giving Tierney a 9. What a player! What a player! What an impact! An immediate impact that he made when he came on. There was a marked difference, not only in the club, but how the game was going. Arteta locked him down. Locked it. You knew he was locking it down when he put Kieran Tierney on there. So now Kieran Tierney has to be in more of the conversations. And I'm very much looking forward to those conversations because I'm only going to get louder and louder and louder about my Scottish left back.
Yeah, man, Super KT,
Period.
man.
Super KT. I'm done hearing anything about Zinchenko. He's good. He's a good midfielder, but he's not a left back. I'm giving Kieran Tierney a 9. Okay, last but not least,
the manager.
Mikel Arteta, the manager. Let's start with you, Steve.
Steve, unmute yourself, bro.
Steve, unmute yourself. My goodness.
Yeah, I'll give Arteta a 9. I'll give him a 9. He conceded a goal to Palace, so that's the only thing that went wrong. So give him a 9.
All right. Jez, since Manny needed to take a break.
Yeah, you know my views on Arteta, on what they have been over the years, but he's proven me wrong, guys, and you can never ask any more than that. And I'll give him a 9 today, and the reason I'll give him a 9, he actually came up with some tactical changes, and that proves that he's actually got a plan B. Who knew?
Mm-hmm.
You know, come on. We've seen his stupid changes way too late in the game, like 75th minute. Yeah, the old way that Wenger used to do it. Too late to make an impact. Okay, we're 4-1 up. Fair play. You can experiment and mess about, but every change he made today was tactically excellent.
Spot on.
Mm-hmm.
And when a manager does that, I will say, well done, sir. I will say, well done. Hi, Ian. How you doing, man? Hope you're doing well.
Big up, Jez, man.
Big up, Ian.
And, yeah, sorry. I forgot I was going to say that. But, yeah, I mean, it is facts. And fair play to Mikel Arteta today. You got it right. And ultimate respect to you, sir. And I applaud you for what you did today. Pity you couldn't have done it against Sporting Lisbon.
Exactly. And Man City. Don't forget Man City in the Cup and in the league.
Yep.
Oh.
Totally agree, Minerals. Totally agree, man.
Minerals, what do you give Arteta, my friend?
Mikel, our manager, listen, I have to give him a 9 because he coached the win. Like how everyone bangs on about manager coached this. Yeah, so 9.
Lee, my man.
9. Yeah, 9 from me. I got no complaints, Mikel. Well done. Got a much needed result such an important 3 points today with Man City not playing in the league this week. So yeah, absolutely did what we needed to do. Good way of coming back after Thursday. So yeah, no complaints here.
All right. Arteta gets a 9 from me for all the reasons that the panelists said. I don't think he put a foot wrong. His subs were incredible today, and you even got to get, Kyrior a couple of minutes of a run out, give him a little bit of a Premier League game, even though I would hardly call Crystal Palace a Premier League quality side right now. They're awful. We have to kind of keep that in context, boys. I think obviously we have a couple of we have a week of an international break before we come back and slap them all over the pitch.
Put them in their place.
Yep. And take, and hopefully Liverpool does a job.
Exactly.
And we go 10 clear. That is best case scenario for us. I think
now we go 11 points clear. If they do a job on.
If they do a job, I need a result. I need a result out of these freaking guys, man. But you never know who's going to show up. Man, we'll see if we can get Manny back on. But I'm going to go ahead and start wrapping this up. We've been going for 2.5 hours, boys.
Really?
It has been
Nice.
We have been going for 2.5 hours. It has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much, you guys, for coming on. Steve, Manny, Jez, Minerals and Lee making their first appearance on TJ Warren TV. Thank you so much, guys. It really does mean a lot for you guys to come on. If you're in the chat, smash the likes, smash the sub. Do me a favor. I did hit 50 subscribers. I'm on 54 now. Spread the word about the channel. Yeah. We're having these legends on, guys. Let's spread the word about it. We're having a blast up here, so really appreciate it. Steve, shout out your channel, man.
Yeah, man, you can find me on Strasbourg Steve, and then Stove Machala on Twitter. That's about it, really.
Fair enough. Jez, legend.
Mate, I'm not. Look, I'm a legend because I'm old. That's all it is.
Not true, but okay.
You can find me Arsenal history and more. I'm 7 away from 3,500 subs. So,
Jez.
Hoping tomorrow night when I go. I'm doing a match reaction tomorrow at 7:00 UK time. So anybody who wants to jump on. I always like having different people on. That's the thing. There is one person that criticises that. As soon as he said he comes on, I'm not going to mention any name. Why do you have different fans? This is an Arsenal channel. Well, because I like to get the perspective of different people. Fact.
And also, you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Exactly. It's True. Mr. Jez, eh? Super Jez.
Exactly. I said to this guy, he's very inoffensive. And I said, look, mate, at the end of the day, it's my channel. I'll do whatever I want to do.
Exactly.
And I offered him, I said, yeah, if you want to come on, you're an Arsenal fan, you're more than welcome. But, classic, I don't want to show my face on camera. So I said, basically then, do one.
Exactly, man. You have to show your face, but me, I can't, unfortunately, because...
Well, I don't mind people coming on off camera. That's fine. But, because I've had one person, he'd never been on a YouTube channel in his life, and he came on off camera, and that's fine. He was very, very nervous, and I appreciate that. And then he came on the next couple of times, and he had his face on camera. Fair play. But, my belief is this. If you are going to criticise people, then show some bollocks and actually come on and say what you're going to say face to face. That is what it's about. We all do it, and I know it is tough starting out. It really is. When I did my first ever stream, 17th of April last year on my own, I was crapping myself. I won't lie. I'd been on Lee's show for 3 years, doing podcasts and fan cams and all that.
Are you sure for 3 years? Because the first time I saw you was in 2021. Or or you were usually going on like Spotify or something?
No, I was on his one, the original one, which he deleted by mistake, and that was in 2020. And then he set up the current.
Nah,
He set up the
nah.
current.
He's had the League Gunner since like 2018 or something.
Yeah, yeah. Then he mucked that one up. He deleted it, or no, didn't he lock himself out of it or something? I can't remember.
Something
now.
happened.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna bang. We don't know.
Bang. That's it. He mucked it up. Then he started the new one, and I used to go on there with Claude and all them lot. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Claude. Yeah, like in a couple weeks it is his
Yes, it
second
is.
year.
Yeah. And just before I shut up, I'm on Insta collins.jez. There is plans afoot, Manny, I believe, to do a fundraising thing for Stephen Fleetley.
Oh, Steve, Super
Amazing.
Steve,
Great.
man.
I believe that's going to happen. So I certainly will be I'll want to be part of that because Stephen was a lovely, lovely fella.
Oh.
Great supporter of my channel. Loved going on his channel. So I hope that does come about, and I'm sure Manny, you'll be massively involved in that, sorting that one out. And yeah, guys, there you go. Always welcome on my stream. I like to talk about Arsenal. I always like to talk about football in general, and I'm planning on doing one of my famous football quizzes during the international.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Yes.
Brilliant.
It's time for quizzes, eh?
I will be in the chat for that because I don't know bollocks. So
I want to test myself.
I will support everybody on that stream.
PJ, cheat.
Oh, cheat? You want me to cheat?
A lot of people do. I put the question, they Google it. So there you go.
You don't have the evidence, Jez.
I'm a purist.
You don't have evidence.
I'm a purist. I don't cheat. Fuck.
I don't. No,
Jez,
no.
let me show my face then.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
To be honest, yeah. Because you said that if I have the minerals or if I'm man enough to do it, I'm just saying.
There you go.
I'm just saying, like, do you like make them show their face so that they're not searching biology?
Yeah. Well.
Wait. Look. I mean, I hope you don't think I called you out on that because
Nah,
he wasn't talking about you, minerals.
That is not an issue to me. I don't care. And I'll say to you, mate. I will say here and now. You're more than welcome to come on my channel anytime you like.
Come on your channel, Jez. I was even on like your first streams when we beat It's just that I changed my name.
Oh, right.
And stuff like that. My first stream of yours was when we beat the scum from West London.
Ah, right. Okay, man. Fair play. Fair play to you. Fair play to you. Respect. Anyway, that's me. That's all I've got to say. I've waffled. So
No, not at all, Jez. Not at all.
Man. Minerals, Jez, man.
Yeah. Minerals. Shout out your channel.
Listen, I don't have a channel yet, but in the summer I'll potentially have one. But you can follow me on IG, and Twitter. Yeah, man, I'm always on the.
Well, what are those Twitter and IG?
It's my second name and first name, but yeah, my name's Noah, innit?
All right.
Yes, Noah.
No, there you go, Noah. I won't tell anybody if you don't want to. I mean, there are two people.
It's all right. It's all right, and everyone's got the minerals on there. Minerals Manny, Minerals Steve, and Minerals Lee, and Minerals Jez, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listen,
all right.
We keep going, man. Up the minerals.
We keep going. All right, up the minerals. All right. Lee Meadows, first time coming on the show. Shout out your channel, my man.
Absolute pleasure, TJ. Thanks for having me on, man. It's lovely talking to you all. My channel is at GOOOOOO Gathering. We are primarily sort of family-friendly channel. We're relatively new in the get-go, and it's been an absolute blast. We've just about hit 115 subscribers, I believe. So, yeah, amazing journey. We're loving coming on these shows. Thanks for having me, mate. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, Lee, any you, Fran, any of the Gunner Gathering are welcome anytime. I can't necessarily guarantee a family friendly show, but what I can guarantee is a good time.
Absolutely. It's been good, mate.
All right, Manny. I need two things from you. I need you to give your Arteta rating because we did that while you were out, and then I need you to shout out anything and everything you want to talk about channel wise.
I've got to go, guys, because I've got.
All right,
I've got
thanks,
my thing
Lee.
to do. Cheers, guys.
Bye,
Mate,
See you
wonderful
later.
to see you. Yeah. Cheers.
Later.
Yeah, so my rating for Arteta is that he gets a 9. I think, he did what he had to do. He made the right changes at the right time. Bringing on Tierney and Jesus was a masterclass in different ways because it allowed the width that really Martinelli enjoys, and obviously we got to see the best of him. Jesus got some important minutes, and it was wonderful to see him, come back in, but he just needs to really get that touch back. I think with more minutes, he'll be fine. And then, of course, bringing on Jorginho for Ben White and having him slot into the centre of defence while Rob Holding went to right back. I thought that was quite class. It meant that he didn't have to play the number 97, Walters, I think his name is, who was on the bench. So, yeah, he gets a 9, and that's all. And I hope I didn't miss too much else while I was away.
No, we're just giving the rating. I think we're all pretty much behind the manager today for a change.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, let me start by saying I'm sorry I had to buzz off like that, but errands had to be run, duty calls, work is worship, and all that jazz.
Listen, man, Manny the intelligent man, he knows it. He knows about work and all that. Yeah, man.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thanks, man. Now, first of all, TJ, brother, big up to you. This was absolutely wonderful. Really enjoyed being a part of this stream. Normally, after games, I go and have a good crack and share the bleeding story with my main boy, Del Boy Gunner TV. But I think he is still feeling the after effects. He should be safe at home. He's got a wife and children. They're going to set him on the straight and narrow. But yeah, this has been terrific. And the more I can get to come on your channel and talk, the better. I always love talking football with, whether you're a Yank or an Aussie or anyone else. Nationality doesn't come into it. We're united by the beautiful game. We're all a part of one family, as I'd like to say. So even if you're a fan of an opposing team, we put our rivalries aside and have good discussions. I despise banter with such a passion. So anytime I get to do certain streams, it's always relaxing. And this is another one to the list. So thank you very much indeed. If you want to catch me on social media, my Instagram handle is Manny Thangadurai 1981. That is my full name and my year of birth. If you want to catch me on Twitter, having some debates with some rather misguided Arsenal fans or otherwise, you can catch me on Thangadurai 1981, which is my surname and my year of birth. And no YouTube channel as of yet, but I will be active on Stephen Featley's channel after the Easter break because I want to make sure that the family has time
how is Steve's channel gonna do on? Who's gonna take over it? By the way,
you're looking at him. That's
there
me.
we go.
He's asked me to take the responsibility, and obviously I've had to learn the ropes of what to do with the channel. I'm going to try to add something to it, but I'm going to really resume activity only after the Easter break because that will give the family adequate time to breathe, and it just feels like the best time really because
man.
it's after Easter and it's a decent time I think, very auspicious you could say, and it's a time sort of after the Easter Sunday with Jesus being resurrected. That time when you sort of renew your covenant, it's a way of renewing the channel's covenant with YouTube and its fans, as it were.
Yeah, man. Big up.
Yeah. So you can catch me. Yeah, you can catch
Manny,
me there.
if you need any help with the YouTube, anything with that, I'm not the number one guy, but I do know my way around.
Yeah. Is your way. So like, you won't change the name. It's still gonna be as Fitly.
I won't do that. I'm not going to do that. It will bear his name. And I do have some other things planned. I will divulge them further. But if I do need some help, I will definitely be reaching out to a lot of you. And some other channels, Del Boy Gunner TV, of course, Oris Talks Football. Jez has made an appearance there.
Jez, of course.
Hope to have you back someday there too, sir. Coach's Corner, Tony Claude Gunner TV, Danny AFC TV, Up the Cherries in all departments, which is a Bournemouth fan channel. Also, AFC Talk Show TV. Shout out as well to David Cole, the old school gunner, and Eugene Spurs Asia TV. I'll be doing some work.
Even
with him
Northside.
tomorrow.
Don't forget Sir
Yeah,
Northside. The
Northside.
Portuguese.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
Portuguese.
yeah. Yeah, I know Northside well. Big up to him as well. And there are some other channels, so I can't really think of at this particular time because I'm a little bit tired. But they're all a big part of me, very much in my heart. They contribute to me feeling really, really happy ever since I'm coming on YouTube, and I feel
So like,
I feel a better person, coming over here, a lot happier in many ways.
of course, man. Of
Be a
course,
part of
man.
the community. So thanks to everyone, and if they still don't believe me, I'll send them a check in the post.
Exactly, man.
Yeah.
Man, he's got the minerals, man. He will land it on them. He doesn't care.
Yeah,
Whoever
yeah,
gets it.
yeah, but just closing remarks, as I've said, football's just a game, but it's a uniter. Humanity is the most important thing. With everything going on in the world, we need to treat each other better and treat each other with more respect. Let's make sure that we, resolve our differences, because I believe it was Martin Luther King who said it best. We either learn to live with each other as equals, or we will perish together as fools. I mean, maybe not that drastic, but it just emphasizes that we need to be more respectful of one another, and that means none of this ridiculous.
Love your neighbor as yourself in the 10 Commandment, man. That's what it is.
I appreciate that, Noah. Thank you. And that's pretty much it. Take care of yourselves. Thanks to everyone who's joined in the chat. You've contributed to making this video and TJ's channel what it is. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday and have a good upcoming week. Don't do anything that the 5 of us and Lee Meadows wouldn't do. But for now, I'm out and I need to go to bed.
Yeah, man. Big up, Manny.
Big up, Manny. Big up this entire panel and big up the chat. Please feel free, if you're watching this on Playback, please smash a like. TJ Warren TV will be back with our weekly American Idiot show on Friday. Obviously featuring myself, the DVS, and Jez. Anybody else is welcome on that panel. We're going to be talking and just reviewing the Premier League, where we're going, where we are in this international break coming up, and going over the results of the disastrous predictions that the panel made last week. This week, I mean, hey, I'm in that boat too. Yeah. And we'll really just be chewing the fat going into this international break, because I don't really care about it, to be quite honest with you. So again, if you're watching this on Playback, smash the like, sub to these gentlemen. And until next time, we are out. Come on, you Gunners.
Whoop the Gunners.
Away